Most folks in Eberron live their lives hoping to survive and protect the ones they care about the most.
A few do that and more, trying to help those around them, even the ones they don't know. But only one group does all that when no one else can. The King's Citadel, the ones who do the job no one else can do. Elarian, the Shield, a star-forged Aegis whose strength lies in the defense of their companions and their will to keep the Citadel and its missions safe no matter the price, even when that price must finally be paid. Merime, the Sword, a Kalashtar bard whose dreams predict doom and disaster, and who has touched the mind of a god. Her skill in battle, insight into the hearts and minds of those she encounters, and love for her sister in the Citadel is more necessary than ever, if her divinely touched spirit does not waver. Tantan, the Brain, a dragon-marked human artificer whose jovial demeanor conceals a deep curiosity, razor-sharp intellect, and long memory. He knows what he did for the last war, and he knows what it did to him. And now that he has returned to the site of it all, deep within the ruins of Seir, he knows how much worse the next war will be, unless he can stop it. Nisiana, the Heart, a dragon-marked halfling healer whose love for her sister is matched only by her desire to help and heal the members of the Citadel. She's grown wiser and more wary, and has learned that at times harming matters as much as healing. Can she keep hope and the King's Citadel alive? Rowan, the Wild Card, a human wild magic sorcerer who's played a dangerous game for most of his life. He's gone all in to save his friends, but for the first time he's learned they're not the only ones sitting at the table. Can he break through the shadows of his past and finally call the bluff? These 5 elite operatives came together to aid the salvage outpost of Salvation, where the Grey hovers nearby, a threat and a promise. With the Oracle of War, they found an artifact powerful enough to end a war, or begin one. They traveled to Sharn's City of Towers to unravel the Oracle's mysteries while stopping assassination attempts from the terrorist organization known as the Emerald Claw. They traveled back to Salvation and into the Grey to repel a war-forged invasion and take the fight to the Lord of Blade's secret fortress Razorcrag. They paid a heavy price to rescue hostages from the fortress, and the Lord of Blades escaped into the Grey, seeking a way to create an army of Warforged powerful enough to crush the 5 nations of Corvair. But the Citadel had more immediate problems, the Emerald Claw and a looming war. At the same time learning that the Lord of Blades seeks the Oracle of Bones to create his invincible army. Now the King's Citadel is in a race against time to unite the 5 nations and stop the Lord of Blades before he can turn his full might against all of Corvair. They've saved Salvation, navigated Sharn, prevented disaster at Razorcrag, stopped the war with Thrain, and thwarted the Emerald Claw. But can they finally unlock the Oracle of War's secrets and defeat the Lord of Blades? Only if they remember that in the end, all they have is each other and the King's Citadel. Long live the King. Welcome to Eberron. Welcome to Corvair. Welcome to the final season of the Oracle of War. Yes, indeed, the final season. It's the final season. What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome, everybody, to a Saturday stream. It is Saturday, April 11th, 2026, etc., in the year of our Lord, and I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to Eberron Oracle of War. This is day 90 of D&D with Infinity Beyond, Eberron Oracle of War. This is part 3 of Back to the Mud, which itself is the final component, the final part of Eberron Oracle of War. And I think we are now in a state, and I'll mention this when everyone's around. I think I now know exactly when the final session of this will be. So I'm excited for that. And then as Triffid points out, yes, thank you for the reminder, Triffid, that is correct, that we are also going to finalize the vote for the chat chosen game of the month tonight too. And just while I'm thinking about it, let me just put that up there quick. We are going to be playing that on Tuesday. We had the nominations start this previous Tuesday. So it is between Kathy Rain 2, Soothsayer, Tiny Bookshop, and Overlord. Right now, I believe Tiny Bookshop is in the lead. Yes, that is correct. Over Kathy Rain 2 and Overlord. So at the end of the night tonight, that will be the final vote. And then we will be doing that on Tuesday. So please do let me know, based on your vote, what you would like me to play for this coming Tuesday. And that's going to be the only stream I'm doing on Tuesday, actually, because on Tuesday I am canceled my afternoon stream. The Arvocalists have been rescheduled because I'm going to be going to a Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation reception for scientists and supporters. It is an honor to be able to be invited to this, which is happening in the Empire State Building, by the way, in the city. So I'm going to be going to that. Yeah, I'm honored to do it. And that normally I wouldn't, cancel streams for something that was just any old thing, but this is obviously more than any old thing. So that's happening on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we have got more community D&D. And then Thursday, back to some more Super Mario RPG. So a lot of good stuff happening. But it begins tonight with more of Oracle of War. Before we go any further, a couple of quick reminders. If you haven't done so, please follow the channel. Check our YouTube with !ArvTube. Subscribe to us over there. Discord, !ArvCord. Blue Sky, !ArvSky. And website for this, arvinelleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop. That's our merchandise area. You can get stuff relating to this campaign and the channel, but both supports them and has some cool swag for you. If you haven't already done so, please do support the Patreon, !ArvTreon, which allows you to get a bunch of different things, including epic poems and character backgrounds and critiques of your writing and so forth, and also inspirations to help our tabletop players. We're going to be making some adjustments to that in the coming months, but would love to see some people jump on board with that. Also, subbing to the channel is really helpful as well. Give you those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch, so please do that, and inspirations to help our players as well. On the publishing front, !Icarus, my graphic novel from Athos Arts, !Library, my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library, that's my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment, and !Greyshade, that's my Greyshade IP, Greyshade Renegade Heretic, The Grey Assassin Trilogy, critically acclaimed, award-winning from Athos Arts. You can also get the audiobooks of Greyshade, Renegade, and Heretic by our very own Trent Sparks there, and you can also pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade, coming to you from Alligator Alley Entertainment. We just have to get the art finished there, but otherwise everything is done, and that is from our very own Rising Tides, Brandon O'Brien, as well, so you can pre-order that. And as always, !BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Help Now, that's the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message that we'll do so for others in that situation in the future. Continued love to the people of Minnesota and specifically Minneapolis fighting against federal occupation and inspiring us all, and I hope everyone is hanging in there okay. We are ready to go, and with that said, I'm going to unmute myself and apologize to anyone I muted because I could not hear them, and then I am going to unmute them, and last but certainly not least, I am going to head over to reveal to you the crew, which is here. They are prepared, they are ready, and I have apparently made John into a hobbit or something. He's very low. Let me just develop that. John is actually reasonably tall in real life, just so you know. This is no, don't adjust your screen.
Reasonably.
Yeah. There we go.
He got turned into a toddler again.
He got turned into a toddler. There we go. That's what it's Benjamin buttoning it over the course of the campaign. Anyway, it is good to see this crew as Infinity and Beyond is back. And I do want to say just before introductions that I am pretty confident that now this one is, partially, of course, dependent on them. But if everything goes well today and they don't actually create a glass and sand factory here in the Crystal Caverns where they find themselves, and assuming that we get one other session in May, I think we will, We will have our marathon session, traditionally occupied by D&D with Infinity and Beyond's crew, on the Sunday of ArvCon in May. And that will be the finale of Eberron Oracle of War, the absolute final finale, before we move on to the previously announced next campaign happening later in the summer. Later in the year, so that might be a month or two into the summer, which is Shadow of the Dragon Queen, Dragonlance. So I am ready to go. I was mentioning to them in the green room before that I have started my research, by which I mean I have started to reread the Dragons of Autumn Twilight and so on, Spring Growing, or whatever the hell it is, all those 3 books there, and I'm ready to do that. Having finished Ada Palmer's incredible Inventing the Renaissance, I just, again, you should read this book. It's so good. It's extremely long, but it's very well written, and it's exactly the kind of public intellectual sort of reaching out to people that are educated, smart people, but aren't Renaissance people that will only understand like 3 terms that you mentioned, right? It's so good. So highly recommend. Ada's a very good writer of fantasy fiction as well, but this is just a super interesting nonfiction work. Anyway, I just finished it this morning. That's why I was hyped about it. Hi, Wispy Song. Good to see you. So let's introduce this amazing crew, starting with bottom left of the ziggurat. That is Trent Sparks, who is with us, who is contemplative since I mentioned this Renaissance book. How are you, Tren? How's life in the universe with you, and who are you playing?
This book that you're discussing here, would you say that it is or is not better than Gormenghast?
My opinion is that that book, like Leviathan, is well explained within the Renaissance context of Inventing the Renaissance.
That was a yes or no question, sir.
I haven't read Gormenghast, okay? Listen. I was a Renaissance English drama specialist, okay? That was me. Anyway, how are you, Tren? How's everything in your neck of the woods? Who are you playing and so on?
I think I made it about a half a chapter into Gormenghast before I put it away and never went back to it.
Yeah.
I was like, Mom, what does this word mean? She's like, we have a dictionary. I'm like, I looked it up. It's not there. What is this word? She's like, that can't be right. So she went and grabbed our dictionary. She's like, it should be right here. I'm like, I know that. What does it mean? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. That's all you had to say. I don't know. And I went back to my room and I never picked the book up again. Not what you were asking about. Anyway, so I'm doing okay, kind of crazy, trying not to lose my voice. Fortunately, Tanton doesn't sound like somebody with a really gruff voice. Something. So I'm playing Tanton, Tagashah de Cannith, who is a battlesmith artificer of the House of Cannith, though he's quite disenchanted franchisism with his house right now. No, not really the house, just the leader of the house. The leader
of the house.
Yeah. Really, doesn't like Merrick. Likes his son a lot. Not like anyway,
I was going to say I missed that bit of backstory. I would have to.
Tanton.
Deleted scene.
Yeah,
exactly.
Tanton, right. Tanton is in love with a woman named Finta. I, however, so the thing that I forgot to ask you last time was because I cannot take notes because I wind up writing the word that I'm hearing you say. And then by the time I finish writing that word, you are now 6 words ahead of the sentence. So I write that word. And so it just looks like just a mess of Scrabble tiles. It doesn't make any sense.
Gotcha.
The tool that Tanton was given.
Yes, the +3 tool, all-purpose tool.
Mm-hmm. That didn't help, having a bunch of numbers in there too.
Okay.
So I kept past tense, meaning to ask you, could you send me those things so I can plug them in? Yes. But I kept forgetting. So now that I've remembered, it's time to actually play, and none of us have any free time anymore. So let's see, who else am I like? That would be it. It would be Spanner, my Meccano good boy, but he is still quite flat.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. It's I'm going to send you the link now. It's in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Okay.
But which I think you may have because we've talked about this before. But I don't know the page number, but I will send you. I have sent you the wiki.link, and it is a +3 version of that. And I do note that it calls itself a screwdriver, and I'm really trying to avoid thinking of it as a sonic screwdriver, but it's conceivable.
Of course it's not sonic. I mean, it could be if it was doing thunder damage.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just was thinking of crossover potential. Anyway, but I'm excited for this, and I'm also going to give people a little bit of a just notice about Tren, which is that Tren doesn't even know this yet, but there is a possible thing I'm going to ask.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a possible thing that I'm going to be asking Tren to be involved in. I have not put him on any hook since I'm not announcing what that thing is, but you may get more behind the scenes info about Tren, at least about his work. That's all. So yes, I'm excited to say more. I do that just for Tren's reaction.
I told you shouldn't have let him install cameras in your house, Tren. I told you.
I didn't install them. They're just look. I've got the little magnetic cover that goes over the thing, but I always forget that my iPad is sitting right there with a camera pointed right at me and my bed. So
it's deeply troubling.
Behind the scenes.
It's deeply troubling. Yeah, behind the scenes. I'm not even going to go where I was. Never mind. Always a pleasure to have Tren with us. Also a pleasure to have Marie with us, who is going to be able to be part of this marathon session that we're talking about in ArvCon, which is cool. And so, Marie, it is good to see you. I hope everything is okay with you, relatively speaking. I hope you're hanging in there. And how's stuff with you, and where, and who, not where. And where are you playing? You're playing with us. Who are you playing is what I meant to say this evening.
I am playing with you all evening. I'm really looking forward to it. You know what? I had an interesting day. My brother came over, because his teenage daughter and her best friend wanted to go to the nearby mall, where I dragged Jen to that sex shop accidentally. But anyways, so he dropped them off. Just what?
A sex shop at a mall?
I think that's
nothing
here, actually.
I don't know.
Okay.
It was just a little footnote to my story here, but the interesting day that so my brother came over and we ordered pizza for lunch, and we got poutine pizza.
Okay. Gravy fried pizza? Is that what that is?
It was it's like I wasn't sure what to expect. I pictured like the dough with like a poutine on top.
Okay.
But it was actually like kind of, but it had like instead of tomato sauce, it was like poutine gravy, and then it had like some fries on it, and then it had a lot of cheese.
And it was okay. I want to note imaginary exponent says joins at the mention of sex shop. So it's just like literally it's like ding, like hey, what was that? So anyway, so was it okay, your pizza that had
it was very good, yes. And I would just like to say imaginary exponent about that is that I am an excellent tour guide. Jen will vouch for me, I think, that I'm a great hostess and I'm a great tour guide of my city. So I'm here.
Accidentally brought her to. Whoops. you just take a left and suddenly sex shop and like.
It happens.
It literally was that. Like, what's this store?
But in a mall, like you're just like Forever 21 Cinnabon sex shop. Like that's how that went down.
But it's like it has like fun stuff at the front, like puzzles and games.
Oh God!
And then you get further off. It is, and then there's more puzzles and more games. Then there's butt plugs. So sorry, I'm gonna get you like D. Anyways.
Jen immediately reaches to comfort her cat. Like, sure, just never mind.
Cover his ears at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to Canada.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Canada is so much farther ahead of us.
No, that's true.
In their maturity.
And literally everything. Yes, I think that's absolutely
people.
True.
We're fun, especially French Canadian. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Yeah. Much more fun. But anyways, yeah. So I am excited for tonight. I am playing Mirimi Hawksmoord. I am a College of Sword bard. I'm just happy to be here. Like honestly, seriously happy to see you all and to be here and to stab some things.
I am excited for all of that as well. Always a pleasure, Marie. Also a pleasure to have one Brandon O'Brien with us. Brandon is here. Brandon is prepared. Brandon is ready. I can tell with every fiber of Brandon's being that he is prepared and ready to go. I was going to ask something because something came up where I had heard about And it was a Kamen Rider reference, and I was like, okay, there are two people I know. One of them is Yori, and the other one is Brandon, who know everything about Kamen Rider, whereas I know essentially nothing about it except what I get through Brandon. And now I can't remember the reference, because if I'm like, yeah, so they said this thing, you're going to be like, what you've described. It's going to be the scene from what is it, Billy Madison? What you've just said is the stupidest thing anyone has ever said. So I'm going to have to think of it, then I'll be able to. I just want you to know I was thinking about you when I heard a Kamen Rider reference. Okay, Brandon, that's all. Other than that, how are you and who you're playing today?
I feel truly seen. I feel genuinely appreciated, which I feel like that's serendipitous in part because I was only recently rewatching one of my favorite scenes from the original Kamen Rider series in the 1970s, where a group of the villainous mutant terrorist organization Shaka has gathered with a former Japanese soldier to find treasure that was hidden by Hitler somewhere on the Japanese coast. And they dig up this large gold sarcophagus on the beach somewhere and are eagerly awaiting to open it to discover what like powerful weapon or instrument of terror Hitler has hidden here, only to discover that Kamen Rider is waiting in the sarcophagus and then immediately leaps out, starts fighting two goons, kicks them so hard that they explode, and then turns to the lead villain and describes to him that he threw out whatever was in this large coffin sight unseen, because the mere fact that it was created by the Nazis means that it was necessary to be destroyed without even discovering what it was.
Clearly.
And I love this scene very obviously because there is nothing more righteous that one can do in the world than kicking a Nazi so hard that he explodes.
Happens in the NES game Bionic Commando, where you explode Hitler's face. Not even joking. 100% what happens. Literally true.
The most noble thing that a human can do. But after years of just loving this scene without any further thought, I did stop this week to go, why did you do that? I mean, throwing away Hitler's treasure, I get that. But then first of all, how did you bury yourself by yourself? And secondly, how many hours were you here? Just suffocating in this box, waiting for the opportunity to surprise.
Brandon, did Kamen Rider jump out of this tomb and explode the Nazis as is tradition? Well, then what is the?
That's why you exactly.
Well, why do we care
about the thing?
That's what practically matters here. You've kicked and exploded a Nazi. Like why? You know, plot holes go away when you explode a Nazi. I don't even know that. Like, if anyone's having trouble out there writing a book, just make sure you explode a Nazi in it, and, like, immediately everything clears up, you know?
Solves all of your conflict problems immediately.
Illness says we punching Nazis. Thanks for the tier 1 sub, Illness.
I mean, we should be.
Sorry, go on,
yes, I feel seen that a Kamen Rider reference occurred in the wild and you thought of me. And
it definitely didn't have anything to do with punching Nazis.
I remember what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, more things in the world should. Yes, hello everybody. My name is Brandon O'Brien. I'm a poet, writer, and game designer from Trinidad and Tobago, and tonight I'll be playing Rowan Shallow, someone who is not prepared. Someone who only by the grace of God hasn't spent any spells since we've gotten here. So we're gonna see how well that goes, how likely it is for the next 4 days that Rowan does not respond with immediate nervousness and just shoot someone with magic in the next 4 days in ways that makes everyone's life more catastrophic than it presently is.
At least we're limited in the level that you can cast spells at right now, so there's that.
Also true, yes.
That's true. But in the meantime, like the wild magic thing should be not a problem either, I would think. So it'll be fine. You're level 19.
I mean, this is the part where you remind someone that stuff like Firebolt and Wall of Fire is actually still remarkably low on the list. Like, I can do a Wall of Fire if I wanted to. I shouldn't, but I can.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's right. Well, and as we discovered last time, Rowan can actually asked, I think it was Nisiana, whether it's a good idea to do something. And, Nisiana was kind of stunned that she was being consulted. So everyone can learn. This is the character arc that we get there. Anyway, always a pleasure to have Brandon with us, and I'm excited to see what Rowan gets up to tonight. The aforementioned Nisiana, played by Jennifer Brozek. I am very excited to see what Nisiana gets up to, Jen, with all of this. But how are you? How's everything going in your neck of the woods? And yes, and tell us more about who you are playing today.
It has been a long month.
Yeah, it sure has.
I still don't have a kitchen, but
I was going to ask, it not really?
No, we still have the temp there, but there's been movement on the insurance. For example, my general contractor, I'm just going to throw some fake numbers, says it's going to cost 10 to fix this. The original insurance said, we'll give you 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And because it's so there's such disparity, we're going to send someone else in to do.
Yep.
And they came back with 8.
Yep. This is exactly what is happening in my house. Exactly as you described it. We had to do exactly the same thing. Yep.
And now they're fighting with around 6 and 7 right now. And it's
Yep.
hell if I know if I'm, but in the meantime, Lilu has allergies or something. Her eardrum ruptured.
Oh.
She's fine now. Mostly. But I've been having to take her to the vet like every Monday for like the last 3 Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
And we started with one med. We shifted to a second med when she stopped doing the first med. She's having her ears flushed. Now we're at this point where we're having to give her a pill in churu every other day. And we're supposed to squirt stuff in her ears every 3rd day.
Oh my God.
So you can imagine the calendar of, okay, pill, ears.
Yeah.
Okay. Today was an ear day. And she's not even 6.5 pounds, but let me tell you, it takes 2 full-grown adults to put stuff, not in one ear. We have to put them in both ears.
Yeah, that's, man.
So we did that. It's going to go for the rest of the month, apparently. I'm like really not looking forward to that. I turned in a novel. I think I might have turned in the novel before.
It was mid-March
I turned it in just before I went into Norwestcon. So I've been to Norwestcon, which was a good time. It was a very good time, and I'm very happy. And now I'm on the editing train. I'm editing so many things right now. And Marie and I need to get together so we can write a thing that's due in like 3 weeks.
Woo! We got this. We got this.
Oh yeah, May 1st is coming.
It's really coming pretty fast.
Yeah, what is that?
It's called a date, beginning of a month, where certain things may or may not be due by certain authors.
It's also known as May Day.
That's less than 3 weeks. Okay, all right, that'll be okay. Marie, we really need to be on next week. So I am playing Nisiana DiGerasco, the halfling healer from the House of Healing. She is the youngest member of the party. And she doesn't like this whole we're going back in time and we can't use big spells. And fortunately, her main spells are not level 5 and above, I believe. I think that's my cutoff. But I have a question. I did a resurrection before. Did we rest after I did that resurrection, or did we immediately run off to do the thing?
It depends.
I remember us resting because that explains why I have all my spell slots.
Yeah, I think you were given. I think you did because you were given, because I think it was at the end of the last section that you would have resurrected this general or whoever it was.
Okay.
Which means the following session would have been, you would have had a day or so to be able to get in a long rest.
Got it.
And it was also going to be pretty much the last long rest you're going to get in for a long time.
I was kind of confused with what spells were.
Yeah, I believe that's right. Yeah,
we're good. So yeah, Nisiana is very nervous about being back in time. Yes, we have already changed the timeline by saving the person they said don't save.
Yep.
But What's a little time manipulation among friends?
Couldn't even keep the timeline consistent for one second. Yeah. But no.
For an hour, half a day maybe.
As we discussed, sometimes you have to take those consequences. In this case, it was Tanton who took it to the tune of, I think, almost 30 points of lightning damage, something like that.
Pretty close.
But but everyone else was fine. I'm sure, how could this possibly escalate? Anyway, always a pleasure to have Jen with us. And yes, I'm excited to see what Nisiana gets up to. The healing may be in need. We'll see what happens this session. Last but certainly not least, John, always a pleasure to have John with us. You'll all note that John's picture is all squared away and looks very straight. We're just going to say that right now. Very straight.
I live to serve, master.
How you doing? John, how you doing? How's life in the universe with you? Congratulations, incidentally, on getting another liberal justice elected to the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Thank you. 5-2, baby.
I am glad to see that.
We are
and the 20-point swing that reflected, reflecting every other 20-point swing the Dems have had the last
We are the pendulum for the national
So
court,
I was happy to see that. But
we
beyond that, how you
confident.
doing and who are you playing?
It was good. Coming back from Adepticon, which was amazing in Milwaukee. It's a really great show. We had a fantastic time. We had awesome booth space. Hanging out with authors. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. So the convention season is kicked off, and in a couple of weeks I get to go down to Puerto Rico to visit my boss, which will be interesting. I've never been to Puerto Rico before, so that'll be a trip. Luckily, I'm flying out of Green Bay, so I won't be subject to 8-hour waits in the lines of larger airports. So
that's true. Is it direct Green Bay to Puerto Rico?
No.
I was gonna say I didn't think that would be a
Atlanta,
big
and Puerto Rico direct flight. No, I go through Atlanta,
Gotcha.
which is not bad. I don't mind Atlanta. I have an hour and a half layover.
Okay.
I just have to get up ungodly early to get the flight down there. I was like, painful. Anyways, I'm well. Glad to be back. Glad to be playing. Glad to be with everyone. It's awesome. And I'm playing Valerian. Valerian is a Star-Forged Aegis who, not grudgingly, but warily agreed with this whole thing about saving the guy and changing the time stream and going back to the future and saving Marty's mom and all sorts of crazy stuff. I don't know what's going on. So we're just going to roll with it.
I'm very excited for all of it.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
Quick.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just before we do that, since John mentioned Back to the Future, as we were... As we were starting, you were saying, okay, I'm going to fire up the video. They can't hear you, blah, blah, blah. Just before that, I had clicked on my, announced in the chat how many months of subscription I've had going. And what was that number?
I'm going to scroll up because I don't remember. The number was 82 months. 82 months.
88 miles an hour, 88 months. It's a completely serendipitous number, but there you go.
For Back to the Future, once you hit 88
right. I was like, what on earth are we talking about? Yes. I'm now with you. I understand.
Sure you are.
That's true. It has to be 88 months with a lightning bolt in the church. Yes, I got it.
It was a town hall, but yes. Okay.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, that's true.
And a thunder wave.
Yeah.
There you go.
And a thunder wave.
All right, moving on.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I was not actually ignoring that. I was trying to figure out why my music is not playing. Okay. In our last session, has this just disappeared?
It's dark in here.
Lord. It's not going to do this? No? Okay. All right. Well, let's do this then. That's working. Okay. So, in our last session, as has previously been mentioned, the King's Citadel has arrived back in time. But they've arrived in time for a reason, and that is that they currently have a situation where, in the present, the Lord of Blades has found the Oracle of Bones and apparently has found the Forge of Making and is using that to create a army which threatens to essentially eliminate the Five Nations just by default, because it's just impossible to stop them. And the Five Armies, which were already the Five Nations armies, which were already sort of tired and exhausted from having fought a valiant battle and having won, but having done so at some cost to themselves, have now found themselves being frustrated by the ability of the Lord of Blades armies to essentially recognize wherever they're going to be, to assess wherever they are, to basically do the stuff that the Oracle of War does, which apparently is now being done by the Oracle of Bones. And so what does that mean? It means that the only thing they can do is to return to the past, figure out a way that they can sabotage, first of all, get to and destroy, sabotage some things to make it easier for the battle to be won in the present, defeat the Lord of Blades, and destroy the Oracle of Bones. And if they can do all those things, then the timelines and so forth will all work out happily, and the nations will actually have defeated the Lord of Blades. In the meantime, though, they have a time stream to consider, and that means that as they have gone back in time, they need to make sure that they do not do things which are going to break time in the present. If they do, there will be consequences, and as previously mentioned, they have discovered Aaron de Cannith, the genius artificer from the House Cannith, who did not want to give up the particular thing that he had been looking at, this forge of making, and the party was able to convince him that to stay there would mean certain death, and it would be, as I was listening in preparation for this, the way that Rowan put it was, in order for your ideas to live, you need to live first. So that seemed to eventually weigh on him. Thanks to that and some good persuasion checks, they managed to convince Aaron de Cannith not to stay when the Lord of Blades was going to arrive, which was going to be tomorrow, based on what they know of the timeline, where he would be surely killed. But the minute that they decided that they would save Aaron de Cannith, there was this shift in the time stream, and all of them were able to save except for Tanton, who was zappity-zapped by this consequence. Their understanding is that the more that they do this, the more dire the consequences to the time stream will be. But if they don't do this, then some bad things are going to happen to good people. And they chose, in this case, to save the good person, but at what cost? We shall see. But at the moment, they have managed to save Aaron de Cannith. And we're going to start right there. I'm going to bring us over to the other map, where you can see the obelisk happening. Oh, one other thing I want to mention, too, is that Alarion here, as it turns out, was not just a Starforged who has existed for a long time and happens to be associated with this planet, but may have partially been summoned to this plane and to this planet through this powerful obelisk, which has now become the sort of center of the Forge of Making. And so that was also something which was not on Alarion's bingo card, and so it's something else that Alarion has to consider. And so I'm now going to hand things back over to the party. I want to remind them that their first of the 5 days is almost up. Aaron has been persuaded to go with them, which means that he and Garvin are willing to go with you. Garvin, Aaron's
Arvin Gelleron. Yeah.
Yes, Arvin Gelleron. Garvin and Aaron are willing to go with you. And I think what you had said you were going to do was possibly going to hide. If you're going to hide, of course, one of the questions might be, where are you going to do that? Because if we jump over to this map, we can see this hex-based map here of the glass cavern in which the Forge of Making can be discovered. So the hex where they are right now is, in fact, the Forge of Making. But where do you want to try to hide? There are other mysterious hexes about that are dangerous. There are traps to be set. And when the Lord of Blades armies arrive, there's going to be that. Also, you have a Colossus, which hasn't even been fully built yet, that you're going to have to wait to be built, and then also sabotage. So you've got some things to consider. So what would the party at this point like to do?
Well, we should stash the Artificer in as safe a place as we can find. It's really not near this, because do we know if Lord of Blades is expecting to find anyone here? Anyone?
It stands to reason that if we're the only people who get here in these 5 days, that the Lord of Blades expects no one else to interrupt.
No, I'm saying, is he coming here expecting to find him? And I point at guy's name I can't remember.
Aaron.
Yes. Does he know he's here? Is he coming here expecting to encounter him?
Well, he needs Eren, doesn't he?
I mean,
so he should expect Eren to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it's he knows that the Forge of Making, because of the Oracle of Bones, he knows the Forge of Making is here. Whether he knows that that Eren is the one, he certainly should have. He would have heard his name, so he could put two and two together.
Okay, so he'd probably expect him to be here.
Possibly.
The fact he's not here.
Thank you, Big Red 40 Tech. Thank you.
Hey, Big Red.
Especially since I also imagine that if he's not here the entire duration of these days, then some of the work would be severely stunted in a way that they are not in our timeline.
Right.
Like I doubt a Colossus takes a day to make.
It's unlikely. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just worried. I'm just concerned about how much of a search the Lord of Blades is going to do once he finds out that Eren is not there.
I mean, I'm guessing, just from the little we know of him, he's going to be pretty focused on his mission. And I don't know. As long as we put him somewhere not very easy to find, or far away from here even.
What if we just put down a little note saying, "Gone to the restroom, signed A."
Found for groceries.
Be back in 10. And what? Well, there's the question.
10 days.
Yeah.
I think we might be overthinking it.
Never.
Always. Always. So, we protect Eren and his assistant. We know his assistant will be going with his dragon to meet with you, Tren. Not Tren, sorry. You have to give him all that information. That has to happen. Probably sooner rather than later, because things tend to get a little bit complicated around us. So that's a start. The next thing is, we know we should list out what we know happens. Because remember, what we don't know and what nobody else knows, we don't really need to worry that much about, because it doesn't change the time stream. So we know the Colossus shows up. We know it's in working order, but not great working order. We know that the Lord of Blades has a duplicate, or at least someone pretending to be him, whom we killed. What else do we know?
Are you saying this out loud, by the way, Nisiana?
Yes.
Because Garvin would say, upon hearing the business about the Colossus, would say, well, if you're referring to the Colossus that's nearby in the cavern, the one that fought in the last war, there is a half of a Colossus over there. I don't know if it's the same one. And I want to point that out because you actually don't know where they got this Colossus from. But if you say it out loud, then Garvin would definitely mention that that they have seen this. That's an interesting
point, because they may bring the Colossus with them, and that's when we need to go in and do whatever you know happened inside it, Mia Tantan, because you were the one inside it. So
which half of the Colossus is it?
And Garvin sort of rubs their chin and says, I believe it was, I think it was the top half. I don't remember having seen any legs at the bottom of it. It's sort of an impressive sight, though. The arms and head are sticking out of this sort of swamp-like area. It's sort of this strange thing. Almost looks like a building was placed there. And it's impressive. This thing was called Karn Slayer in the old days, one of the most dangerous things in the last war.
Hold that in a few days from now, too.
Yes.
He gives a very big sigh.
If the arm is sticking up, we might be able to. Oh, I guess I'll be fixing it if we do any sabotage now, eh? So, because we could maybe sabotage it before they get here.
But then if they find that sabotage and repair it, thinking it's part of it, we have to wait until they're done and then get aboard and create whatever.
You could destroy it, Garvin says, and then Aaron says, that's not wise, the time stream.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Garvin says, oh, yes.
We already fought it and just...
oh yeah, you blew it.
You
destroyed it the hell. Yeah, you blew it the hell up.
Yeah, okay. I spent the entire time under its foot, so...
Yeah, it's true.
I didn't have a really good view of things.
Okay, Spanner's still there, so it's fine.
Oh, maybe you could rebuild Spanner in your spare time here. No, because Spanner wasn't there. So,
yeah.
Poor Spanner.
Yes. We can build another one. So,
better, faster, stronger.
No, not really. So anyway, I mean, he had green dragon scales folded into his structure this last time. It's not going to get much better than that. So anyway, let's see. You have to wait for that, but now we know where it is. See, it's sticking out of a swamp.
Of a sort, Garvin says. They're really more alchemical pools. Strange kind of concoctions. They're actually very useful for certain things, but they're also a bit dangerous. Would not want to fall into one of them. But for whatever reason, there's no, at least enough of an acidic quality to have eaten away at the creature. But it is quite dormant. It's been in the same place for some time.
So those legs could be simply submerged?
Possibly, but the way that it's positioned, I don't know. I remember being once on the back of my dragon, and we passed over and were able to see it was unusual in that and he points up at the thing which, Alarian, you might be if you had eyes, these kind of eyes inclined to wince at the memory of the cloud kills that float overhead. But he says, we were just below the level of them, and we were able to get a vision of them below, and it looked to me as if the legs had been torn off or something. It was just more or less the top of this thing that was sort of visible through the water, but that's unusual. As I say, most of the time the water is filled with these chemicals that make it difficult to see anything. We could try to salvage it, I suppose, but trying to get something that large out. In fact, I don't even know how. You say that you fought this thing? I don't know how they even got it up to do any work on it. Unless...
Did they use the other Colossus?
I don't know. They would have needed something more stable. If there was some, I don't know, flying ship or something, some enormous thing, perhaps they could have used that, but there is no such thing. The Argonth? What about the Argonth?
They have it.
How did they get the...
We were betrayed by Big Bara.
And so Aaron, who of course knows about Argonth, looks at Garvin and vice versa, and Garvin, well, that would do it.
Rand, we're learning more and more with each passing moment, and everything that we learn is unfortunate. So, a question then. What if the pools are our sabotage?
In what way?
I mean, I'm the dumbest person in the room, so I'm not sure. And I
depends on the subject, doesn't it?
I turn to Aaron and I say, is it possible to change the composition of what's in those pools such that it doesn't entirely destroy the Colossus, but does make it remarkably less durable?
And Garvin thinks about it. Perhaps, But these pools are sizable. You would need a great amount of a particular reagent if you were going to change it, and the problem is doing it subtly. I imagine I could, we collectively, and he looks at Aaron, could perhaps whip something up that might cause the sort of composition to become far more acidic. But to do that, it would bubble. I mean, it would look acidic, and it would damage the Colossus a great deal before they even arrived. Doing it so that it just becomes more brittle, well, if you say that they're going to be here in the next few days, or tomorrow, I suppose? If they're going to be here tomorrow, we don't have time to do that in less than 12 hours. Big Red, the reason about not destroying the Colossus, the concern is the time stream, because in the present day, they fought and defeated the Colossus. Every time they change time, they are running the risk of a time consequence, and they've already taken one by saving Aaron. Now, again, they could always take a second. How lucky do you feel? You know, they may have to do this.
Or we could just wait until he gets here and see what the Lord of Blades does with what he's got.
That's true.
And if you want to know what that consequence was like, go French kiss a bug zapper. That.
Oh, man.
Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, worth noting, the one thing that causes us to overthink this entire time is that we need to make decisions about things that we will have very little time to actively work on when they happen, either because the Lord of Blades will rip our throats out, or because if we work too late, we would have changed nothing. That being said, I think that we should invest in at least having some impact on the Colossus, because even if they repair it, they will have less time to have it in the quality that is necessary for it
Does the
to
Colossus
not
still
have been
have its
what
eyes?
we defeated.
I'm sorry, what was that?
So does the Colossus in the swamp still have its eyes? Because if I remember correctly, our one didn't actually have eyes.
Well, I believe this one has eyes. It was more that the eyes that you could shoot through them or see through them. It wasn't that they didn't have any. It was that they were more like windows, rather than they didn't exist at all.
Maybe we should just go take a look at the thing.
At least seeing it is more valuable than guessing.
It's not too far from here. Probably about 2 hours march, I would think.
2 hours there, 2 hours back.
All of us don't have to leave.
And Garvin says, well, we could also travel on Dragonback, if that you prefer. Although, if you don't want to go the way you did last time, and you remember that the last time involved the dragon actually holding several of you in its claws and like stuff like that, wasn't the most comfortable journey, then yes, I could take several of you if you prefer.
Well, if Tanton suggested that we wait until after in case they repair the damage that we cause it now, so are we just using time for naught? And can we just keep an eye on where they bring it? So that, because we don't know when they'll arrive. We need to hide Aaron, and we need to prepare for the journey to the past so that we can be warned ahead. We're low on time with a lot of different priorities, and we don't know when the Lord of Blades will arrive. If we're going to save Aaron, I think hiding him would be a good first start, and then briefing Gavin on what he needs to do, and then the Colossus just damage him. We have the means.
We do.
The tricky bit for me is that I have to tell Garvin what he needs to know to go into the past. When it comes to the Colossus, I would love to be able to tell Aaron what I did to it, with the level of damage that I saw and what I did to further affect it. But that means I need to be here to talk to both of them. Because I figure Aaron could give us a good sense of, once he sees what they've done to fix it, tell me how we can disable it to put it into the state we find it in the present.
I certainly would
This
be
is true.
able to do that, Aaron says, although that means we'd have to somehow get me near it after there are already soldiers and guards all over it, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that should be interesting, he says.
And I imagine there's no small container that we can put a bunch of alchemical reagents in and hope to walk past guards of the Lord of Blades.
Oh, I think we could manage several small containers that wouldn't be noticeable. Us, on the other hand...
Unless the containers were moving when the guard turned around and a giant exclamation point appeared above their head.
Perhaps
Now,
if we went in a cardboard box. No,
Yeah.
You know this place well, Aaron. Is there anywhere within 190 feet that would be extremely safe for you to be?
And he kind of looks at you at the very specific mention of 190 feet. He's like, well,
mathematical formulae flying around.
Truthfully, and he kind of looks somewhat helplessly at Garvin, who says, Aaron has been involved with his work for some time, and trails off, and Aaron says, I actually don't know very much outside of this place, to be honest with you. But Garvin clearly does, and Garvin says that he knows a couple of options, although none of them are without risk, because all of them have some issues associated with the cavern. You've already run into this a little bit already. The cloud kills, the lava streams, like there's some problems everywhere. But regardless of that, yes, there are some places that you could be placed where people could be hid if you're willing to, risk the trip there.
Depending on where you think they'll fix the Colossus, if they're going to fix it in the swamp, or if they're going to fix it, bring it somewhere else closer to here or something, I would have the ability to mind link you to, as long as you're both within 190 feet of me.
Sort of Garvin kind of thinks it over and says, they're farther than that, though. Probably thousands of feet away. And for the party's interest, each of these hexes is about 5,000 feet. So where he claims that the Colossus can be found is here. I am pinging the map, which is therefore roughly somewhere between 7,000 to 10,000 feet from your current location. So considerably outside of the mind link capability, unless you go with them. But yeah.
I mean, I could go with them.
Yeah, could do that.
It's up to you, Tenton, and to whatever the others think, but whatever you think our greatest chance of succeeding with the Colossus is.
If they were going to fix it, where would they fix it? They wouldn't.
Here.
Yeah, they wouldn't fix it in the swamp.
This would be the fastest place to do it.
That's why I was asking if there was anywhere we could stash him safely here, knowing that he would be near, and then we can invisibility in here and do the damage.
And
I can use...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I can use invisibility. It's a low enough spell.
And Aaron says, well, I'm not entirely sure there's room for this Colossus inside where we are right now. I mean, it's a decent-sized place, but the Colossus is larger, and I don't know how they would even get inside here. I mean, because you may remember that there was sort of a break in the stone that allowed you to pass into this place, et cetera, et cetera. So that means in just literally in the hex that you're in right now. The Colossus, Garvin thinks anyway, this is again where it is. They could move it, and they might very well move it out of that alchemical pool. But since Garvin doesn't even, and Aaron both, don't even know how they're going to repair it, because it just seems like beyond anyone's capability, although the Argonth does change that calculus a little bit. It's possible that they may do it in a hex surrounding it, like maybe here or here, but they would probably not be able to fit it here, because this is occupied by where you were all standing, which is this natural, sort of sub-cavern where this obelisk is located.
Okay, well, here's another question that might fall into that equation then. How did the Argonth, because wasn't the Argonth underground? How and why did that happen?
And they both shrug. I didn't even know the Argonth was still going concern, at least for them. I would have assumed that it was under the control of Brayland.
Was.
You all sort of shuffle your feet and look.
So anyway, it's nice weather we're having.
Yeah, it's a lovely cloud kills this time of year. Okay, so what do you folks then think your plan? Where would you plan to hide out or prepare yourselves, and/or take a look at this thing if you're going to do that?
Tanton, I think this one's on you.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me. I meant to say, that's what I'm afraid of. But he can say that too. All we really need to do is to hide us.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to move it wherever they're going to move it. They would be fools to do it farther away than they have to.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need to get us into a hiding place that they're not going to drop it on top of our heads.
Agreed.
Delightful.
No plan survives contact with the enemy.
It's a stupid saying. Who would ever say something like that?
Some tactician did. Basically, no plan is going to work with. We can make contingencies, but honestly, we're going to be reacting. So until we get to a point where our reactions become actions, which does actually make sense if you think about it, we wait, we figure out the best hiding spots, and then we prepare. How? I don't really know. That this is not my expertise.
So we are waiting for the Lord of Blades to arrive and then find out that Aaron is not here.
Yes.
While we spirit him away, and then they go to resurrect the Colossus, fix it, and we sneak in afterwards. So we need eyes on this place because we need to know when the Lord of Blade arrives. I mean, we'll probably know, but when it gets here to this point and finds Aaron gone, and its reaction afterwards is going to be what we're reacting to.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nisiana, you're correct. In that way, we cannot exactly ascertain, but we have a pretty good idea that the Lord of Blades will assign his various beings to their various tasks.
I mean, what are the automatic protections of this place that the Lord of Blades is going to run into?
And Aaron sort of looks about and says, well, there's, in terms of what sort of natural defenses there are around the forge, not many. There's one thing, of course, that we haven't considered at all, and that's that he's going to have an awful time getting it to work. And he looks at you, Tanton, and he says, if he's going to make the forge work, he's going to need what you and I possess, and he won't. And he sort of flexes a bit, and you see the dragon marks appear above his arms. And he says, the forge won't work without someone with the mark of the House Cannith. So, if I'm not there, Tanton, if you're not here either, well, then he won't be able to get anything working on it. I don't know how he's going to see his way clear to that. And he says, so there's your natural defense. If I'm hidden, he won't be able to work it at all. Perfect.
And if the Oracle of Bones sends him after your father?
Now, I would like an insight check from you, actually. Hi, Shadow. Also.
Okay. Using a new mouse, so we'll see if
outstanding
proves to be difficult. Insight, you say?
Insight.
Where is it? Oh, yes, it's right under history. 10.
I guess what I would say is that the way that it sort of looks to you is there's this kind of like, he When you say his father, he just sort of like kind of gives you this odd sort of inscrutable expression, I suppose, like kind of a, if he does that, he'd have a long time to try to find him. I wouldn't consider him to be much of a concern, after all. And then he stops and he says, well, wait, in the present, you say that he's already got this thing working. He's making Warforged with it, with the forge.
Quite a few.
And he pauses and he says, I mean, it's not possible that he could do this, but is this Lord of Blades? My father is of the House Kenneth. Could already have him? And then he says, no, I don't believe it. My father, for all of his many faults, is no fool. He's not going to allow himself to be caught out like that. And unless he's decided to start working with the Lord of Blades, and I don't believe that either, my father's ego is too large to allow anyone else in the room besides himself.
Agreed.
I don't see it. But he could have gotten someone else. Maybe he found some hapless acolyte or apprentice working there, and then he could bring him. Anyone from the House Kenneth would do.
He had Soul Ring. But we rescued him.
But even Soul Ring, well, and he kind of like, I suppose, it's odd. But regardless, he must have someone with him to trigger it. He can't take the chance. Perhaps he assumes that I'll automatically be there, but what if I were to have been dead? It's quite possible, right. You know.
It's most likely that he has captured someone and is using their family as leverage.
Then there won't be many natural defenses here to protect. Of course, Garvin, your place, you told me. And Garvin nods and he says, yes, I have a few defenses in the place where you first discovered me. First of all, even finding it will be somewhat difficult for them. But if they're looking for salvage material that they're going to use to rebuild the Colossus or their ship or prepare some other defenses or weaponry, they would come to the junkyard. It's the largest source of salvage that's in this area. I suppose that would create some danger. Of course, if they were to run into the creatures here, they might be hostile to them. And I know of one that would be. And almost on cue, you hear this roaring, like, outside, which now you know, of course, is the roar of the Warforged dragon.
But the dragon has to live. The dragon has to go with you. The dragon cannot be involved.
Garvin nods and says, and besides, as powerful as he is, he won't be able to stand up against this Lord of Blades and all of the people around him.
Correct.
That means there are no defenses except secrecy. We cannot attract their attention.
So we
also
hide.
correct.
Then I should take you. Perhaps Aaron can... Well, we can have some of you go to the place where I'm imagining hiding, and the rest of us go to take a look at this Colossus. And he looks at Aaron and he says, Aaron, when you came here, you do remember the place that we first considered building an experimental facility before you found where the forge was. And Aaron nods and he says, yes, it was a particularly inhospitable place. And Garvin nods and says, precisely. That would be the inhospitable place you should take them. And Aaron nods slowly and he says, well, all right. I suppose I can do that, but you must know that I'm not much of a fighter. I know where it is, but in terms of what's protecting it, I could not say. And Garvin kind of shrugs and looks at all of you. Hey, Proxima.
You cannot tell us anything about what might be there?
Oh, no, I can tell you some of it. It is a jungle region. There are flora that grow thick in this place, but some of them are mechanical. The plants themselves have metallic elements to them. There are also packs of warforged apes. There are blood-sucking mechanical insects, and some lumbering warforged... Well, there's a living plant. Oh, yes! The Warforged Venus flytrap. I was very proud of that one. Aaron pipes in helpfully. Yes, that's very nasty, but as long as you don't go close to its habitat. And Garvin says, well, but you're going to be hiding in this habitat. Oh, right, Aaron says. Well, that's definitely going to be dangerous. But as long as we are careful and recognize that anything there could kill us, then it should be relatively easy. Garvin looks at you with the long-suffering expression of a man who both deeply of a person who deeply respects and is also vaguely exasperated by their master.
Okay, let me. This is Jen trying to get this straight.
Sure.
So, right now, we are suggesting that we split the party, put part of us inside a really dangerous mechanical jungle, and then have the other part fly to the Colossus to look at.
In dangerous alchemical pool. Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. And why do you want to split up Aaron and Garvin?
So Garvin has to go back in time.
That's right, but you have to tell him what he needs to know first. So that is actually the first order of business. And
I mean,
then...
our meeting wasn't that long. It wouldn't take that long to explain to him what he needs to say to me.
Right.
When do I need to go? Garvin says.
Pretty soon. For us, it was the past. For you, it might be the present. How long ago did we run into him? How long before we came back?
So, and also it would be, for you now, it's the past, like, because you're in the past, right? So, like...
so it's even further back than now?
Well, no, because you were fighting the battle, which happens after the point you are. Really, it's in your future, honestly, your current future. Because, remember, you, in the middle of the battle against the Warforged, in the middle of it, they showed up on the back of the dragon and handed you this flower and everything else. So it would probably be closer to when the time streams sync, but not exactly, maybe a day before. So maybe on like day 4, day 5 is when the time streams sync, right? And you're on day 1. So day 4 probably would be pretty close, you would think, to when you actually found him. Yeah. Or 3.5, but somewhere in there.
And how far away from here was that meeting?
Outside the cavern where you're currently, and I mean the big cavern, the huge hex base cavern you see. Outside of that, maybe, another 10,000 feet past it, because you were pretty close to the plane of glass and everything when you fought the battle. So not that far outside here. So roughly.
So not like a day's worth of travel.
No. But a few hours though. Also on the back of a dragon, probably faster than going by foot. But yeah, a few hours.
Oh, right. He's not going back to where he met the girl. He's going back to the battle.
Because that's where he met you. Yep. Where they met you. Sorry.
I'm confused.
Yeah. Time streams.
I hate them. This is why I couldn't do recursion programming.
So probably not for another day or two at least, but not long after that.
Garvin nods and says, well, if you want us all to go together, I'm also fine to do that. It's really up to all of you. I just didn't know if you wanted to begin this hiding process sooner rather than later.
So this jungle area, and he pulls out the flower again and goes, do these grow there?
And he looks at it and he says, well, I think so. Yes, actually. Is that the thing you're supposed to give to me?
That's the thing that I'm supposed to give to you to give to me. That
right.
Yes.
Yeah, and the two of you confidently nod while everyone else is like, well, yeah. But Garvin.
I mean, we saw it happen eventually, so yes.
And Garvin says, "Well, yes, I could do that. They do grow in that same area. Yes."
Then I would say yes.
Yes, we're all going together to start the hiding, or yes, we're all
Damn
going
it!
together.
I was hoping to escape that part of the explanation.
Yes, I think we should all go to the hiding spot. So
Okay.
at least we all know where it is. And from there, since we have a day or two, we can then range out as needed.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Is that what everyone's doing? All right.
Yes.
So when you depart this area, and are you going on foot or are you going by dragon via claw / double claw hold?
I mean, that's going to be a lot faster to go by dragon.
Okay.
Especially now that we've got an extra person.
Magically immune to the electro.
That is true. Okay. So you are flown
Not at all.
over.
Yeah.
Where did I just put my map?
I don't know.
I just had my map. Show me my map. Oh, there we go. It's too many pieces of paper. All right. So yes, so it takes about, by dragon, it's a lot faster. Had you been doing this normally, it would have been about a 2-hour trip. Instead, it's more like 45 minutes, basically. When you find yourself over here, so if people want to move themselves over here, I won't bother to include them right now, but just know that this also includes Garvin and Aaron as well, plus obviously the dragon. And indeed, this is a very sort of jungly, forested area, but it's very odd because while part of it does look like more of what you might imagine a traditional jungle would, there are a variety of plants and flowers and things that don't fit typical jungles. So it's like there's jungles and then there's like tulips, you know what I mean? Like there's things that don't really fit here. It feels very much like a man-made sort of combination of things. And as you are flying down, you do hear the roaring and sort of you hear the sound of like scratching sounds and roaring from. In fact, I think I might even have a soundscape for this. Let's see, we do that, and then I'm looking for
Jungle
this.
Boogie.
You accidentally open up the classic farm and it's just
Nope,
that's not it.
That's not it.
Moo.
There we go. Got ourselves a little jungle ruin going on here. But as you sort of get closer, and of course there's always this sort of almost supernatural heat about this cavern to begin with, but you can definitely note that there are areas that look sort of dangerous. At one point, Nisiana, as the dragon is descending a little bit, I don't want to assume that you're dangling from a claw, but from wherever your vantage point is, you can see something. It's beautiful, first of all, like sort of wondrous almost, with all of these plants and creatures that also have metallic elements to them, so they shine and they shimmer. But at one point, you see what you think is sort of a large, almost like knot on a tree. And then when the knot shifts, you can see glowing eyes that indicate that it's actually not that. It looks like some kind of ape, like maybe like a chimpanzee or something, but with these glowing gem eyes, like looks up at you, and so on. So definitely not in Kansas, let us say. So as you get closer, I'm going to need people to make a group check. Now, I will give you folks an opportunity. It's going to be a group check. But the group check is, you can approach this in several different ways, but whatever you decide, you all have to do this particular check, okay? So you could try to do it essentially by having the dragon sort of hover above the trees, and you all essentially rappel down the side of these large trees to the jungle floor. This would be essentially an acrobatics check or a dexterity check if you wanted to do that. You could try to be let down outside the most heavily forested area and essentially use your knowledge of sort of woodcraft and so forth to try to make your way without causing a lot of disruption. That would be a survival check, so you could do that as well. Or you could use your knowledge of the natural world and sort of how these creatures, assuming they're even vaguely like their natural counterparts, behave, and try to act in such a way that would not anger or provoke them. And that would be a nature check. So basically, you could do a group acrobatics check, you could do a group nature check, or you could do a group survival check. And I know that none of these are going to be perfect for everybody, but you know the deal with a group check. You have to get the majority of you to succeed at it. So.
Well, I can tell you that I am not good at any of those.
Likewise.
I'm good at acrobatics and survival.
I mean, I've got a +5 for survival.
Oh, well, that's not terrible.
Acrobatics is 3, and what was the last one?
Nature.
Dexterity. Oh, right, nature.
Acrobatics is dexterity. Nature is the other one.
Oh, nature.
Which is intelligence-based.
Oh, no.
So, but +5 is not terrible, though.
Oh, survival is actually my best skill at that one. But
that first one, the rappelling down, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You said down trees or from the dragon? I'm confused. Like landing in the tree and we get off and go down.
Exactly right. Yeah. Because the thing is that the tree cover is so so dense that the dragon can't. I mean, I guess you could tell the dragon to plunge through the cover and just charge the ground, but that seems like that will alert everything in the a 5-mile radius and also hurt you all probably.
Look you.
So you'd be getting off at the sort of like you could safely get onto branches at the top of these trees, but then you would have to climb down / rappel down or whatever. You don't obviously know what's below the top of the tree cover, so it would be an acrobatics check as you're making your way down this dangerous descending trunk or series of trunks.
Okay. But if one of us could fly, one of us could just carry everyone else down and not avoid that problem altogether.
Problem is that it's so dense that being able to fly down is going to be hard without bumping into things.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, survival is my best skill too out of all of them, so I'm thinking we should probably go for the survival aspect. I'll hope.
Which one needs guidance? How bad are you, Tantan, or Trent and Brandon? How bad are you on survival? You've got a 1. What about you, Brandon?
Survival is 2.
2.
What about you, Nisiana?
I have a 5 for survival.
Okay.
So I can guidance Tren, which would give what, +3, +4, roll 3. I don't. It's been so long.
I think
guidance is 1d4. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 1d4.
Also, you have some people in chat that might be willing to do some inspirations to help some people. There's always that. Unless they want to see you, head down a trunk of a jungle tree.
Yeah. I would say that they wouldn't, but I know this group, especially Big Red.
Would never.
Big Red still quote sad the party didn't split. So.
Mm-hmm.
I can
might be
lean over to Rowan and whisper. It's not that hard, really. You just have to do it like one of your tricks. Just try to land on your feet, and I'll give you 1d12 of inspiration.
Wow, makes my guidance seem so much lamer.
I can give more, but I want to keep some of my inspirations because we're not going to get a long rest. So
that's true. It's true. Well,
if the party splits into 5 groups, then you don't have to succeed as a group.
No.
I mean, technically, they're not wrong.
No.
That is true.
No.
Are we doing the survival? Are we doing the survival roll?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, we just have to wait for Greg. He's leaving.
I'm out of here.
Even he doesn't want to be involved in this.
He's like, I'm done.
No, his kids are sick, so
yeah.
Must be patient.
That's what children do.
Well, yes, they're little germ
Get
factories.
sick. Right. Yeah.
Why do you think I never had any? my cats are bad enough.
Everyone talk amongst yourselves. I have a child situation to resolve. Sorry, I'll be right back.
No worries.
See, he is going to resolve his child situation. That's what you do. You find a place that does recycling. No, I'm thinking of...
See, with kids, you can't just lock them in a bathroom.
Not anymore.
Right.
It's frowned upon. It really is.
Or lock them in a room with their food in their litter box and be like, hey, you stay here while we rip up our floor.
Well, look, we've already established that whole thing about kids in school wearing ears and using litter boxes is false. It doesn't actually have... Oh, you mean your cats? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I have cats. I don't have kids.
Right.
I mean, I worry about them like they're my kids, but that's the thing. So I got new scarves for my clever girls, my dinosaurs.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so got silk scarves for it. Well, linen scarves. I got orange for Melanaway, purple for Hecate, and it turned out to be a teal color for Nemesis. And then I got little cat-colored ties for the two little skeletons. Really need to get a picture of that. But it started raining, and I was just like...
You know, that was literally the question I was going to ask. What happens to those scarves after it rains?
They look a little damp, but they're linen, so they dry real quick. And they're on the south side of the house, so the south-facing sun. So far, they're fine, but it's been one rain shower, so we shall see. I didn't spend very much money. I'm like, I'm gonna leave these things outside, but I'll have to get a picture to put up on my Instagram. So that'll be on my thing to do tomorrow.
That'll be fun.
So Brandon, you had a workshop. Tell us about it.
Yes, my speculative poetry workshop was this afternoon, and it went really well. People were very excited to do some writing, and I'm very glad about that. A handful of people who attended are people who I also know are already in SFF. So knowing that they are currently experimenting with writing speculative poetry, or have been for some time and are looking for more encouragement, has actually been really cool to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of their work in the wild if they ever decide to keep writing and start submitting to places. Because the one thing that I actually really enjoy about those workshops is that everybody immediately asks afterward, okay, where do we submit poems? And I'm like, here, look at the markets page and the SFPA, just send your work wildly to all of these places.
Sorry about that, I'm back. Okay, so yeah.
We were just confirming that all of us made our survival check so we can just move on.
We did so good.
It was amazing.
I'm going to play back the VOD and I'm going to find out. Okay. Anyway, don't be sorry, just be back. I am indeed back. All right. So so what have you all decided? You are doing the survival check, and and some people have guidance and some people don't. Who's just doing this just without anything? Just au naturel, if that's a term for this. Okay.
I might end up bending luck for you, but I want to see the roll first.
Okay, well then, who's rolling first?
Because I can only give you a D4, so it depends on whether it matters or not.
So who's rolling first? Because I'm excited to hear this.
I can go first, Nisiana, and I can. Oh no, we're all going together, aren't we?
Nisiana just leaps away, like into the. Yeah. Okay. So you were able to. So you start to make your way down, Nisiana. Perhaps having seen the gem-eyed, mechanical chimpanzee or whatever it is, was something that gave you some sense of it. As you slither down, you hear these strange sounds around you, and occasionally you hear like a, like a cry, and look up and think you see something sort of staring at you, and then the eyes wink out as if it was like looking at you through leaf cover, and so on. And there's always just movement, rustling, leaves moving around you. And when you get to the bottom of this place, I'm going to describe for each person something similar to this, but when you get to the bottom of the trunk and sort of land on the forest floor, you feel a little bit of pain in your hand, and as you look at it, you see that there has been a slight cut opened up from the bark of the tree, which you see is partially metallic.
I will call up to the... Don't touch the bark. It's sharp.
Okay, I will go next after my sister.
Okay.
I have moments of daredevilness.
I've watched her do it.
Yeah. So you do it even better. So you make the same way down. The sounds are everywhere. The other thing is for you, Maramé, that as you get sort of closer to the floor, you have a very odd sensation. It is a bit as if you are in one of your dreams. Perhaps it is the sort of suppressed nature of the environment down here. The air is very close and oppressive too, not just suppressed. It's oppressive and obviously hot and close, so that there is this experience of, Wispy has inspired Alarian. Well, thank you, Wispy, for doing that. Very kind of you. So as you get down to the sort of bottom, the whole thing feels charged almost with, in your dreams you would have said probably meaning, but the feeling is ominous here, is the way I would describe it.
Okay, I will look to my sister and help tend to her cut, and I will just whisper to her, "This feels ominous, don't you find?"
Well, I mean, we are in a jungle and there's lots of predators. And I'm a snack, so it'll be fine.
I'll keep an eye out, and can everybody else come down now?
Might be nice. Come on.
Right.
Alarian.
2 down, 3 to go.
What about our 2 charges?
Excuse me.
That's a good
Aren't
point.
Aaron and Gerard or whatever with us?
Garvin,
thank you.
And yes, the question is to who you want to put down there, and like they are going to follow their way down. You folks are the most important ones. We'll see how they do on their checks.
All right, I guess.
Well, they're dead.
Actually, no. We're gonna have Mia Tantan go next.
survival, huh?
You got it, buddy.
Survival.
Plus a D4.
Plus a D4. You got this.
Can you have a survival flash of genius?
Here's the survival of 4 for a total of 5. And now let's add a D4 to this. Watch me get a 1. Oh, it's so close.
A 7.
Yes.
So
Brendan, you're muted.
Hmm?
You said something. We couldn't hear you.
No, I was not in fact saying something. I was debating.
Okay.
I was doing math in my brain because bend luck would not save you.
So, Tantan, as you make your way down, I would say I mentioned the metallic nature of the bark, and the metallic nature of the bark also. Big Red is cheered now twice at the notion of low rolls, including this one. Survival isn't the right word if you don't.
Big Red is a force for chaos, in case anyone's wondered or had any question about that. Yes.
So as you are, hey Prince Justin, thank you, Big Red. I think. As you're making your way down, you
Prince,
also
do not encourage him. Do not encourage him.
It's not easy to actually hold on to the butt. Like you're kind of like, how exactly did they, and as you get further down, you get to this one spot where you pause because you hear a kind of whirring, and you're struggling to kind of hold on, and and you hear this whirring, and then you sort of look over, and from the leaf cover peeks what looks like a kind of the furry, whiskered face of some rodent-like creature, maybe like a squirrel.
A cat.
Where's your face?
Just gonna say, as long as it's not a cat, I'm fine.
Yeah, I know. And then from the darkness, it throws something at you, bangs into your face. You sort of rear back, and you reach the ground alive, although you will have taken 10 points of damage by the time you reach the ground.
You find connected to your face a metallic turd.
Yeah, you may have, not quite, you may have woken everything within a 3-mile radius as you fell. There's a lot of clank, 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 and then the end of it is go, go, go.
It just sounds like the carol of the bells out of tune.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
like a, what is it, like a mobile on a, not mobile, chimes, wind chimes, right, on a porch, just like, but all like jangled and out of tune. And then as you sort of are reaching under you, you pull out the thing that was thrown at you, and you are looking at what looks for all the world like a metal acorn. And you see Nisiana and Merime looking down at you.
How badly hurt are you at this point? Because you
I am at 118, I believe.
That's correct.
That's not bad.
118 out of 155.
Correct.
Okay, you're not even bloody.
Well,
bruised.
this one little part right here.
I can do a little bit like medicine to like staunch blood and stuff.
That's like that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Where does it hurt? Here. This isn't too bad.
Rowan, you're next.
Okay. Survival,
So far, 2 successes, 1 failure so far.
So just don't failure. That's
Yeah. That's
You
all.
have a D12
No problem.
Oh,
Wow.
20.
Okay.
Go. See?
plus a D12, but I guess you don't have to use the D12.
It lasts 10 minutes.
Can I
the
keep
D12.
it?
For 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes game
10
time,
minutes.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, Rowan, as you make your way down, maybe you use your gun arm, the metal of it, to sort of protect you as you're sliding down the tree. The thing I do want to note, though, is that as you are making your way down, I mentioned that Merime had this feeling of this sort of ominous quality to this place. You feel sort of the infusion around you of this is a deeply magical place, right? There's just the whole cavern is sort of simmering with arcane energy to begin with, but in this particular spot, it's as if it has been mixed together with sort of growth, as if new magic is being formed here. But you reach the bottom with no problem, to find Tantin sort of lying there uncomfortably, and Merime and Nisiana being like, "You got this. It's no problem."
Oh, no, I'm gonna help him up and like
No, I know.
if I need to dab at the blood or whatever, I do. It's not like I'm just gonna let him sit there.
All right, Alarian, last but not least.
Well, the two, I'm going to have Arvin and Garvin go down before me. I'll be the last one down.
Okay. Are the four...
They blazed a trail enough, I think, where they should be able to get down without too much difficulty.
Right. I was going to say, are the 4 of you that are down already, like, looking up and, like, preparing a, whatever it is, those...
landing net.
The landing net, yeah, exactly, or whatever.
Or I've got that acorn in a sling. Just waiting.
At, like, any mechanical squirrel that peeks out, you mean? Like, that kind of...
Or them. I mean, somebody's going to suffer what I suffered.
Gotcha, okay. Okay. Well, they do indeed make their way down. Aaron has more difficulty than Garvin does, although Garvin, and you notice also, Tantin, as you're looking up sort of frustratedly watching them do this, that Garvin seems to be almost like clinging to the tree as they slide down. And then you can see that their arm, I mentioned, of course, that these are, it's half mechanical, really. That there is what looks like essentially a blade, a rotary like saw blade of some kind that has come out from the palm of their hand and is basically down the side of the tree. And when you get when they get all the way down and pulls the hand back, you can see as the saw blade is disappearing that there's this sort of glowing red line that quickly darkens on the cut that was made down the tree, as if it was very hot from friction or something else. And Garvin looks at you and carefully places Aaron, sort of, does sort of half helping. And Aaron says, "Well, that was eventful. We're almost all here, I suppose."
To use the inspiration or not to use the inspiration. I mean, technically, I can't really fall.
Yes, but you can get wrapped up in a mechanical boa constrictor.
Yeah, doesn't change the pace. I guess I'll
Makes
use
note,
advantage,
mechanical boa constrictor.
I don't want Wispy's sacrifice to go in vain, so I will do the advantage on this.
Okay.
Watch what happens.
Oh, wow.
Well,
14.
Did you add anything guidance-wise, or like?
I don't get
else?
anything. I mean,
Yeah.
it was better than the 9, so this is as good
Yeah,
as it gets. Yeah.
I think this is not a matter of you falling. I think this is a matter of you not exactly being quiet as you make your way down.
Now that is fair.
So you hear a lot of
Doing, yeah, exactly.
like like sounds and everything. You reach the bottom and sort of hover slightly above the jungle
There is
floor.
a Aegis-sized hole.
Yeah, and then there's a moment later.
Very clearly.
There's these ping, ping, ping as 3 metal nuts like hit off of your body, and then land. And Garvin sort of, yes, well, so that works out to 3 successes and 2 fails, which means that collectively the group did make it down, in okay fashion. You were not immediately ambushed by everything.
Boa constrictor, remember?
Yes, that's right. So you're now here, and Garvin is able to lead you to probably only about 10 minutes from where you stopped, or from where you rappelled down, is able to lead you to what looks kind of like a lean-to. It's a little similar to the hut that you originally found them in the junkyard, but this one is like clearly even less put together, like it's half finished and not, and Garvin is letting you in, says, "Well, there's not much to it, I'm afraid. I abandoned it when I ended up moving across to the junkyard. So, in fact, I hope there's nothing else." And he kind of, they kind of look down at the ground, and then their eye glows, and they lift a foot and stamp down, and scrabbling out of the dirt is a small mechanical snake, not a boa constrictor though, just sliding rapidly out of the lean-to. And Garvin says, "All right, that should be fine now. This place, when I say lean-to, it's leaning. It is literally leaning. This thing does not look very stable, but it's up. It's a roof and 4 walls, and so this is where Garvin has brought you."
Cozy.
Yeah, and it's big enough to hold all of you theoretically, although, Alarian, if you're in along with everybody else, you're going to have to, it's going to be, but certainly it's very concealed, though. You could find it, but it would be either a really good guess or there'd be some other technology being used, so.
Okay. Is anyone else going to sweep the rest of the hut to make sure there's nothing untoward in there?
I can do that.
Okay.
So Tangen's little goggles comes down, he makes some adjustments, and in the process, ritual casts detect magic, and immediately goes blind because of your earlier description of the place.
Well, I was just about
Exactly.
to say, but isn't the whole place magical?
Yeah, there's a lot of magic.
That's why he was adjusting the goggles to shrink them way down.
Yeah. Probably, if anything, there's it's more like several spots where there really isn't much magic, as opposed to where there is. But there's definitely not anything that's giving off the sense of magic while also moving. So your guess is that what's left is just, there are some kind of I guess, interlaced with the walls, or looped through the walls of this lean-to, which is pretty close to one of the tree trunks, not right up against it, but close. But looped through it are these vines that themselves are sort of metallic, and as you look at them, you can see that they seem to undulate a bit. It is not actually a boa constrictor, it is in fact a vine, but the vine itself seems vaguely alive. And I don't mean, I mean like literally moving alive, not just, living and getting water and nutrients, but something else. But regardless of that, there doesn't seem to be anything that's going to be able to ambush you from inside here, so.
Very good.
That's that one.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Make yourself comfortable since we'll be here for a bit.
Yeah, and I guess I should ask to jump this forward slightly. So you're all going to do that. What are you doing during this sort of the downtime, so to speak? And at what point are you sending scouts or people out or whatever the case may be?
Well, scouts would be difficult because we can't fly. Thank you very much. But we probably shouldn't go out alone either. Well, at this point, if no one else knows we're here, we'll probably get the lay of the land. How high up was that barrier, the cloud barrier?
The cloud kill barrier was, I don't remember exactly. Let me look.
I'm assuming none of us here has anything like Wizard Eye or any kind of one of the bar scrying spells of any kind.
Hold on.
There we go. 30 feet is the above the ground.
Okay. How tall are the trees here?
Trees are pretty tall. In fact, the trees probably extend. Some of them are very tall, and in fact extend a little bit above the cloud cover. Although you notice that where the trees are, the cloud kill doesn't seem to be. Like the clouds kind of part around the top of the treetops. You're not sure why that is, but yeah, there are definitely some of the trees are taller than the clouds.
So, I have clairvoyance, but I don't think it will be very helpful. I do have divination. Also, not great.
Right.
So, oh, it's scrying. So I definitely did not memorize scrying. So no, the answer is no.
Alrighty.
So we need to scout around this area, and how far away is the Colossus from here?
According to where you were told by Garvin, here, which is roughly, what did I say? Each of these is about 5,000 feet. So we're talking about maybe 18,000 if it's in the middle of that hex. And so that's probably a good 5 to 6 hours on the ground. If you want to take the dragon, you can, but you're going to have to go back up, climb back up basically to get to there, because otherwise you're going to have to at least go by ground out to here where you can actually get clear of the foliage and the jungle cover.
Did we just lose somebody?
We did. We just
lost Marie.
Marie.
No.
No.
Marie is lost, but not for long. At the moment,
we just got here.
At the moment, Brandon will be playing Marie, apparently.
Oh God.
Well, what we might do, actually, since this is about when I was going to have us take our break anyway, why don't we just do that until Marie returns? So I'll wait till Tren puts headphones on, then I'll explain the same thing.
Okay.
So wait for it, and go. So we lost Marie just for a second, apparently, Tren, with some internet thing, I guess. So we're going to take our break, and hopefully Marie will return at the end of that break, and we can get back into things. So you are watching the incredible D&D with Infinity Beyond crew. So happy to be back with this crew as they make their way through mechanical jungles and time streams to try to save the past and present of Eberron. Yes, so thank you as always to Tren, to Jen, to Marie when she gets back, to John, and to Brandon. We will be back at you folks. It's 9:45, so let's say 10 minutes, so we'll be back here at 5 minutes to 10, and hopefully by that point Marie will either be back or will have told us what's going on and we can figure out what to do from there. So please take your break as well, folks. Get hydrated, and we will see you back here in just a little bit. Hold tight. Okay, so hello everyone, welcome back. We do not yet have our. As I transition over, we do not yet have our Marie back, but we will have Marie back shortly, allegedly. So, in the meantime, we are going to continue on because we want to make sure that we're fully wrapped by 11 o'clock tonight. So we have about 1 hour left to play, 50 minutes really left to play. So, okay. So, you have all, you were just about to start figuring out where you're going to send people to scout for things, I believe.
I have an idea.
Yes.
I have looked at my sheet. I can do divination as a ritual.
Okay.
Which will not eat one of my spell slots.
Okay.
And I can, and I put it in the thing. Basically, I'm going to be asking, is there something we should do before the Lord of Blades gets here to this location? That's basically what I'm going to ask.
Okay.
Basically, everybody's going to have to make sure no mechano squirrels try to eat me while I'm doing this.
Well, we can't guarantee that, but we'll try.
I have faith in you.
Ooh.
You were about to say something very bad.
All the things that you could have faith in right now. I mean, I do have a gigantic metal acorn I could clock something with. I'm not going to kill the squirrel. Just going to send it flying into another county.
The squirrel is the true boss. It's actually the Lord of Blades is actually that squirrel, actually, the true boss. So I'm just double checking on magic consequences, though, Nisiana, because I believe
it is a level 4. Oh, yeah, level 4 spell.
Right. I'm trying to find what I said the
teleportation, resurrection.
Nothing above level 5.
Yeah, okay, so it was the right, level 5, which has the thing. Casting a spell of 5th level or higher incurs time travel consequence. Okay. Right. I was like something was tickling in the back of my mind. Yes. Okay. All right. So you ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity. Now, as you are casting this, the thing to which you can do is ritual casting. All that's fine. As you're doing that, you will need to think a little bit about how to phrase the question carefully, Nisiana, because you are asking for what's going to be the most important thing before the Lord of Blades appears, but you are technically asking a god out of time. Now, it shouldn't, in a way, matter because you're asking it now of the god, which will respond now, but there is a little bit of timey-wiminess that may make this a little bit less reliable than it would otherwise be.
Okay, so I should be like, since we are back in time and we are attempting to make certain that we don't mess up the time stream too badly, what, if anything, should we do before the Lord of Blades arrives here at the Forge of Creation?
Okay. So if that is how you, if that's how, yeah, so if that's the way that you're going to position it, the response that you get back, the reply, short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen, yes. I think omen would probably be appropriate. So,
I don't know.
Just thinking a minute about how this is going to manifest. Okay. Nisiana, So there's a moment where you finish the ritual, nothing happens. At first you wonder if this is like, you're still in the gray, there's all this stuff. But then, coming out from behind the tree cover, you see two of those same mechanical chimpanzees with the strange gem eyes that you saw. And they both sort of come out of tree cover and they look at you. And then they walk over as you're all sort of there. And one of them draws on the ground and in the dirt and the sort of the leaf cover at the bottom, and basically creates what looks to you like a bunch of it sort of looks like a hex. It looks like they're making a clearing in the leaves, basically. And then the other one puts down a bunch of little sticks and stones and things like that. And eventually, when they're done with this, it takes them maybe a couple of minutes to get it done. It looks like what they've done is create a circle of something, creatures, people, but definitely something, in this clearing, in this cleared out, if they're doing some kind of crude approximation of a hex, that might be the case. And then one of them reaches up to the other's ear and holds up a hand and makes like, and the other one looks around, then reaches over with the hand and to the other one, being very quiet and looking around as if they're trying not to be heard, but like pantomiming it, like obviously acting out they're trying not to be heard. And then having done that, both of them look at you and then turn and walk back into the tree cover.
Can I insight this?
Sure. It may not give you what you're looking for, but you could insight them, sure.
Insight. Let's see if I'm any good at this.
Oh, 27.
27.
It's very obvious that they were acting out something that had something to do with that circle that they wanted you to pick up on. That this was a message not... this was a message meant for you, having something to do with whispering, secrecy, and a group of somethings, creatures or somethings, assembled in a place, presumably not incredibly far from here, somewhere in this cavern, you would guess. But yeah, that it was a message intended for you about, miming out, acting out something that you should be doing soon or at some point.
Okay. Well, I will explain this to my companions and the fact that I think that's a gathering of creatures or beings in a circle, and it from what it looked like is to give them instructions around a hex. Like, I don't know, perhaps it'd be to actually set up a barrier of the creatures to fight the Lord of Blaze as they come in, which is what he might be expecting. I don't really know.
When you say a hex, do you mean a shape or a hex?
Oh, a shape. You look at the ground.
Thank you. Oh!
This thing with these things. There isn't anything in the center that I can see, but it looks like there's a creation of some sort of barrier or wall, and these look like they could mean the creatures because of the giving back and forth of information. Or instructions.
I'll tell you, since you got the 27 on the insight, you're pretty confident it's something about secrecy is there. Either secrecy or trying not to be heard or, something
and
like
then
that.
we cannot be seen or heard, or they
don't,
cannot
or
know
they
we
don't
are
want to
here.
be seen or heard, or something. But like, yeah, something
Yeah.
involving secrecy. Yeah.
Or maybe it's we have to just remain completely hidden. They cannot discover that we're here. But secrecy was important.
Aaron,
Yes.
or you as well, Garvin, I guess. Can either of you, not necessarily command, but influence the behavior of these creatures, the plants or animals that live here?
And Garvin looks at Aaron, and Aaron says, well, there was some disagreement between the two of us about how much we should allow ourselves to do such a thing. Garvin felt that we should have, I think you referred to them as safety features, and Garvin sort of shrugs a little bit. And Aaron says, but the whole point of why I'm doing what I'm doing, this thing that you managed to convince me to put on hold, however briefly, is to bring people together who are people that are filled with their own agency. I don't want something where I can control the Warforged if I wish, or control my creations if I wish. If they choose to work with me as friends, fine. But I won't have them work for me as slaves or servants. I have well, the whole point is recognizing them as the full beings they are. And Garvin says, but in the meantime, it would be helpful to help during the period of transition. And he glances meaningfully at the several metal nuts that are still lying on the ground and Tantan's bandaged face. And Aaron says, if you bother a regular squirrel, they might throw a nut at you too.
I have to admit, I've never actually had that happen, but I believe you.
I can, however, tell you, Aaron says, that these creatures, they do act similar to their natural counterparts, but not entirely. They do, for example, seem to avoid harming me. I did not make them that way, or at least intend to, but perhaps they have some bond to me that I'm unclear about.
They didn't harm Merime either, the lions. She stood there and she let them circle her. If they believed their home was in danger, if we could tell them that their home will be in danger, would they fight to protect it?
The question is, will they think of us as the danger? Garvin says, red eye glowing. Well, we are, Aaron says. That's the problem. And Garvin sort of, in the practiced way of someone who's been down this road before, this seems like a well-worn discussion between the two.
Well, all I know is we should be doing something, but we should remain secret. And that's why I don't usually do divination. I have faith, but I have faith in my God, but I don't necessarily have faith in my ability to understand what I'm being told when I ask in this way.
So what does this hex represent?
Based on what you saw, the same thing that I did. The gorillas came out, they cleared a location, and then they put a bunch of sticks, which could be a barrier or people, around it. It's clear in the middle, And then they pantomime passing of secrets back and forth. And I know secrecy is important, which is why I'm thinking, okay, if there is some sort of barrier or something that we should be trying to put into place that does not point to our existence to the Lord of Blades. And the only reason I'm saying a hex, because look, that's the shape of it. I mean, I'm welcome to have a different interpretation.
I have too many. That's the problem.
Well, if there is a single clear, because they didn't put anything in the middle. They didn't put a big stone. They didn't put a big rock, or even a big twig. What clear location do you think should be barriered?
I mean, the only area that doesn't possess any of the plants and animals that we've seen here is the forge. They sort of exist outside of it.
There are some plain areas, savannas almost, that you might have seen when you came in here. Those would be at least a little more open, although the clouds of the cloud kills still float above them. And that is one of the plains where you remember Merimée encountered the Pride of Lions and all that. But it's still grassland and all that stuff. So
I won't be so arrogant as to say that it is the creations of this place protecting us. But the one thing I am sure of is the Lord of Blades cannot know we are here.
As you're sort of looking at the others having said this, you suddenly hear in the very far distance a clang that echoes across the plains, and several of the birds, the classic burr, 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 like up there, but it's not coming clearly from the jungle area where you are. It's from a much greater distance, and there's a clang, and then the sound of, again, far distance, but still a mechanical sound, a rook, 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 as if something is trundling across the land.
Is that what that pyramid shape? Not pyramid? No. The thing that we broke into that had the barrier around it sounded like. The place that we rescued the captives.
Yes, I remember that. Possibly. But you're not 100% sure. It doesn't sound exactly like that. And of course, it's also modified and warped. Hi, Echo. It's also modified and warped by the environment where you are now. You've got jungle obviously interfering with it, and God knows how many plains and lava rivers and all that stuff is out there. So yes, it has some elements that are similar, but it's pretty distorted, in terms of being able to hear it.
Does it sound like it's coming closer to us?
Yes. Now, but I want to emphasize, from a significant distance, though. If you had to guess, this is way on the other side of the cavern.
Like where we came in?
That is correct. Basically, oh my God, the cats have arrived. Hello, kittens. Yes. So, where you came in, but definitely moving in this vicinity, towards you. But again, not quickly horns sounding and them charging towards you. Just but there definitely does seem to be something else, mechanical and not of the sort of animalistic variety that you've encountered here.
So we passed the Colossus on the way in and snuck around it. right?
No, you passed. Yeah, I realized that I misspoke about that. You fought two things, remember. There was a Titan type of thing that you fought initially, which was not a Colossus. You battled that.
Right.
Then you fought the Colossus, and I messed that up when I described that, so I apologize. So you walked around the Titan thing, and maybe that is sort of an advanced scout or something. But yeah, not the Colossus. The Colossus you fought is the one that allegedly is half broken down, in the northern side of this cavern, you think, according to what Garvin said.
Hey, what direction did those primates come from?
I would say they came from probably the just sort of eastern side of the little clearing where you are right now. And then they
left the same way?
More or less, but not beeline though. They just sort of were kind of generally heading out of the area. And again, more of that trundling.
Here's a silly question. Do those things understand language?
Which things?
The
animals?
Clockwork animals in this area. Can we speak to them?
And Garvin says, well, you can speak to my dragon, but most of these other creatures will not have appreciably more intelligence than others of their type. Over time, you could probably teach those chimpanzees, you could teach them sign language. And Aaron says, yes, I was intending to do that when I had a little more time, but they haven't done it so far. I first just sent them all out into the world, as it were.
So you can't very well just ask them to do what you saw.
And he nods.
Or maybe Illyrian could.
Maybe, although just because we are of a similar construction does not necessarily mean the communication will be.
Well, I'm thinking more of the Forge of Creation where your face was there.
Oh, that. Well.
Yes, that.
Fair. You might accidentally be a god of every living thing in this area.
It's against my programming to represent a deity.
I was just thinking about that.
But again, secrecy. So if you can pass on messages, we do it very subtly. We do it quietly. We do it in a way that the Lord of Blades can't find out.
Right.
Can you animal handling a robot?
Machine handling.
Isn't that what Trent's been doing with the spanner?
Fair, true.
Except it's really, it's not. Yeah, because it's not really an animal, right? You're talking about a machine that's under Tantan's control, as opposed to an animal that has, apparently, the extraordinary element of this, of course, is that these creatures really, like the Warforged themselves, actually, they look mechanically oriented, but they act like the natural creatures from which they are, supposedly derived. So, again, feels very much like the touchstone for me is either Horizon Zero Dawn, for those of you who played that game, or, I can't believe I'm going to cite this, the Rise of the Beasts thing in the Transformers movie. You know what I mean? With, what's his name? The other Prime, the Gorilla Prime, whatever the
Optimus Primal.
Optimus Primal?
Optimus Primal, yeah. That's what I mean. Right? Mechanical creatures that act exactly like enormous versions of, natural things. So, I still maintain that, by the way, that movie is just overwhelming, that tons of bad problems, but they look impressively mechanically,
The cartoon, however, was good.
Yeah, if you've never seen Transformers Beast Wars, you should.
Yeah, no,
yes.
That's true.
If only to see Ravage, because, oh my God. Anyway.
All right, I've basically given every idea I have.
Yeah, with regard to the Spanner thing, as an example, the Spanner would never listen to Nisia. He would never obey her.
This is true.
The only time that he allowed her to ride him is when Tantin told him, steed. It was only in response to Tantin's commands that he would function.
Right.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just about out of ideas too. I'm just not spooled up the way I usually feel.
This is sadly not my area of expertise. If this related to some manner of a crime being committed, I could probably be more helpful. So all I can tell you is, while I typically, as you already know, have very little trust for Eberron, I do trust that if he sent you a message, he knows how you need to interpret it. So whatever you want us to do, I am willing to invest in.
Oh, no pressure. Just the time stream.
You now hear, in addition to that trundling sound, a rhythmic metallic clanking sound. Like a cling, 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 cling.
Alarm or walking?
No, neither. It sounds like some metal ringing against metal. Like
breaking open the cavern?
Or forging something. Now, I don't mean forge-a-making. I don't want to get it in the wrong way. But that there's something being built.
Oh.
Ding, ding. Very loud, echoing. Like, again, it's muffled because you're in the jungle cover, but clearly loud enough to, cut across this cavern. And I should say, the cavern...
And so far away that we can't see it.
Well, and yeah, because you're in the jungle cover. You would need to exit the jungle a little bit, like move out of that to get closer. And actually, where you are right now there's a hex more of jungle in every direction. So basically, like there's jungle here, and here.
Oh, what if there's a secret we need to see?
But where? This is a big space, and we don't have any indication of where it's, where
maybe the giant noise that's being forged?
Well, I do want to go check that out, one way or the other. So I'm game to head over there if other people are.
I can't think of anything else. I mean, we leave Aaron and Garvin here, safe and protected, and we trundle off into certain danger.
You want to leave Marime there? She seems sort of unfocused at the moment, staring off into space.
The answer is no, but
just kidding.
Poor Marime, poor Marie. They said she would have her internet back, but does not appear to be so.
Yeah, well, they said soon, or whatever soon means.
You're gonna say, they said corporate stuff is what they said.
Yeah, exactly. We are working on this. Your call is very important to us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I guess we go see what that is.
Yep. And
okay.
Marie stands back here to protect them. Perfect.
When you head into now I should say so. Now I can't. Obviously, it wouldn't be fair for me to give you a direct. I can just tell you that it's emanating from the western side at the least. Like you can tell that the sound is somewhere, but again, that could be, as I just quickly freehand it, that could be like anywhere here, right? Like anywhere to the west of that line, but it is definitely coming from that direction. So I mentioned that because if you wanted to go, they're all sort of equally dangerous. You're going to have to make checks if you go here or here or here. So the question is, you could just head straight across if you want, but I just wondered what you wanted to do. And in fact, I think, sorry, put my notes aside. I believe that, that's not it. I believe that, that's not it either. Anyway, I will check more closely, but I think this right here is actually where the forge was.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so but again, it's not that sound that you're hearing is not that close, but it's in that direction. So, and as Wispy says, stealth is the key. So, which hex do you want to basically head through? Is my question.
And the sound is like vaguely over here somewhere.
Yeah. But exactly. But it could be here, or it could be there, or it could be there. It's definitely to the west that you can tell.
I guess the straight shot west until we can figure out which direction.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm game.
Okay.
So this one.
So, take a couple hours to pass into that. Again, I will give you the same option that I did before. This time you don't have to rappel through trees. We don't have to RP this out, but just, are we looking at acrobatics to kind of sneak around and through the trees, doing a little bit of vine swinging, stuff like that maybe? Do you want to try to use your knowledge to make as little sound as possible? So survival in this case might be the way to look at that, or use your knowledge of the jungle area and try to do what you can not to provoke creatures into making a lot of noise and calling attention to yourselves. That would be nature. So acrobatics, survival, or nature again. Hi, JLC.
Survival's still my highest.
Yep.
But I'm willing to follow whatever anybody says.
That's fine for me too.
Okay.
Who would like to be guidance?
Yes.
Do I still have my...
No, the ritual itself took the 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think Tren has the least amount on survival, so I will guidance Tren. Or Mia Tantan.
Yep. That makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Who's going first?
I'll go first this time, because hopefully maybe it'll reverse the problems I had last time.
Okay.
I don't have advantage anymore.
Time for survival. It's true.
You can do it! 14 again.
14, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will, this time I'm not going to give individuals, I'm going to... Herd. Well...
Oh, we are off to a not great start.
We're off to a banger of a start.
Not good. Will bending luck help you here?
I think...
And Maria's officially giving up because still outage.
And Tantan will guidance Rowan.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess I'll make that roll then.
Actually, I should have had Nisiana guidance me, because at one point would have gotten me 15, which probably would have succeeded.
And
but
guidance is what again?
D4?
Should be D4, I think, yeah.
Yike.
Oh boy.
I am going to God, I'm so confused.
Tides of
I
Chaos.
became so confused.
Boy?
Yes, I'm gonna Tides of Chaos this.
Okay.
So let's do that again.
17.
Ah, that seems better.
And I'm gonna spend the guidance, just to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's 19.
19. Okay, sounds good. Do you have a? Are you using sorcery points for that? No.
Tides of Chaos means I owe you a wild magic surge.
Okay.
If I was spending luck for other players, I would spend sorcery points.
Okay. So then, why don't you give me that wild magic surge?
That's 1d20.
You turn the party into a brass band, and
or a giant, huge explosion happens 100 feet above the party's head. It causes no damage.
19. Okay, so you're okay on that score. All right. So we've got.
Do I get to roll?
You and so Tantan.
I was going to say, wait.
Yeah, no, I know.
Wait. Survival. With my lovely +1.
Plus a D4.
Plus a D4, so it's 12. Plus a D4.
Right, and I'm spending luck for you.
+4. Wait.
16.
Bending luck means what?
So you have a 16 right now.
You can roll another D4 now if you like.
To replace this one?
No.
To add.
To add to it?
Yes. And let me spend 2 sorcery points.
17. Okay. So you were able to make your way through the area. There's Nisiana, perhaps, accidentally bumps into a mechanical hornet's nest, perhaps. But for the most part, you're able to make your way across relatively safely, I would say, to here. So if everyone could move their tokens, except Mermaid, we'll keep back there, to here. And that means that when you get to the edge of that, you almost kind of literally can sort of peek out of where the sort of the tree cover finally comes to an end. It's not exactly a wall, but and you notice a couple of something, well, particularly significant, and that is that right here. Let me see if I can put. Let me see if I can find something I can use for this. Just a moment. No. Just trying to find a token that I can use for this, so bear with me 1 second. That I think might end up doing the job. He said, hopefully.
Is it a massive flying castle token?
Well, okay, yeah, so we'll use this for now. Again, this is not exactly what it looks like, but...
Ah, is that the Argonth?
Yes. Unquestionably the Argonth, which
That's very
is
different
over... yeah, well, again, it's unquestionably the Argonth, which is... So therefore, please do not look too closely at the picture element of this. But that is definitely... it definitely is the Argonth that you can see. But it is not the only thing that you see, because you can also see that there are a group of fairly, maybe at least 50 or so that are metallic creatures that are making their way across the plains. And these are not metallic animalistic creatures. These look like Warforged marching in formation. And they are marching, they are here and marching directly in this direction.
Oh.
Towards the Forge of Making.
Anywhere we can see a big guy, lots of sharp edges, leading the pack or on the ship or somewhere?
Yes, in the front of this group,
Right.
personally leading them, is someone that you recognize to be the Lord of Blades. By the way, the clanking sound... Oh, sorry, just one last thing, Rowan, and then I'll let you talk. The clanking sound that I mentioned does seem to be coming from this general vicinity, but you can't quite see it. But somewhere in here is where that sound is coming from. So you got Argonth here, you've got the clanking sound coming from here, and you've got Warforged heading this way. Sorry, Rowan, you were going to say.
Mm-hmm. So, given the hindsight question mark of facing the clone of the Lord of Blades during the battle, can we tell whether this is the clone or not?
Well, I mean, not obviously, because there was no real way to tell it before until you actually, defeated it and then saw what happened to it. It sure looks like the Lord of Blades, but the other one did look like the Lord of Blades.
Also true, yeah.
But given the importance of the mission, I'm almost positive it's him.
If they're going into the Forge of Making, he probably definitely needs to be on site.
Yes.
Well, we cannot be seen here.
And currently you're more or less concealed, but you were definitely just, past you're peeking through the tree cover, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Query, did we actually see the Argonth at all during the battle?
You did not see the Argonth, no. But remember, you didn't fight inside the cavern either. You fought outside this cavern.
Right. Maybe we should sabotage the Argonth.
Counterpoint, if they need the Argon to get the Colossus out, we can't do it yet.
Oh, point. Point conceded.
Unless that's what we need to stall, but we can't have them fail.
Wispy thinks the Argon has to go down.
I like the way you're thinking, Wispy.
A more reckless character, which is saying a lot about Rowan, would do the same.
I mean, what if they got Karnslayer out of the water because they didn't have the Argonth anymore?
Don't think we should change the timeline any more than we already have.
I know. I'm just
fair. I mean, we're
at
asking
some
these
point there will be a
questions
bridge
because we don't know.
far, and we're like standing at the edge of it right now.
yeah, and we have to keep.
But we are asking these questions because at some level, inaction is also an event that changes the time stream, and we don't have a lot of information about what led them to these states.
We're at that part where it's keep it secret, keep it safe.
Is it secret?
Oh yeah.
Is it safe?
But unlike that other IP you're referring to, there are certain events that have to come to pass here.
I know.
That we must let come to pass. As much as it, believe me, I itch to put my star sword into his face right now.
Wish I could have understood what the divination basically meant, other than the secrecy.
Yeah, that was unclear.
Maybe it's not to go into that hex at all. Maybe that is the barrier.
Well, I mean, I'm actually thinking of posting up here and seeing what his we now have the ability to see what the reaction is going to be when he finds out Aaron's not there.
But we can watch and see what he does, but not cross the barrier.
Would like to know what that clanking is, but I have a feeling we'll find out soon enough.
I would suspect if they are building something there, they know that's where Karnslayer is. They are rigging up an armature to bring the Argonth over to pick him up and bring him here.
That's what the Oracle of Bones would have said, is something like retrieve half a Karnslayer and rebuild the bottom. I mean, you have to remember they have the Oracle of Bones as well.
Yep. Well, I guess we're actually waiting here for a while.
Yeah, I guess we are.
Okay. Give me a sense of what a while looks like.
Until the LOD and his entourage go into the forge.
Okay. So that.
By the way, I'm sorry. There is no one else with him. There's no human. There's no one in a sack with their head poking out. There is no other person with the Lord of Bones and his retinue that could possibly activate the forge. Correct?
Let me have you make a perception check for me, please. Just because you are doing this from a pretty significant distance.
Oh, I know. I just,
I'm looking at,
I would like to do the same.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we're all basically looking as hard as we can.
All right, a non-natural 20.
All right, I'll come back to that.
A non-natural 20.
Natural 20. Tanton, are you doing that as well? Are you looking for
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I will give you, Tanton, +3 on this check. Because you know exactly what you're looking for, actually.
Okay. Perception. Add 3 to a 13, which is 16.
16, okay. So, I would say, Rowan, I don't think you or Tanton see anything specific, but I think that probably Nisiana and Alarian would pick up on one thing, and that is that there is definitely one creature that is walking with the Warforged that is considerably shorter. Now, the Lord of Blades is bigger than the Warforged anyway, because, that's a big Warforged. But then the rest of them are... There's some variation in sizes because Warforged are literally not just clones of each other, but they are more or less in the same ballpark, right, in terms of height. There is one creature that is definitely shorter than the others. You can't make out what they are.
Shorter or shorter still?
Say again?
human shorter or shorter still?
That you can't tell from this distance, but they're definitely not Warforged, you would say. Or if they are Warforged, they have like the equivalent of a child Warforged with them or something, because not the same height.
And even Clock wasn't, or whatever his name was, Talk or Tick or
Clock,
whatever
it was Clock. And
yeah, it was.
that's correct.
He was still average Warforged size.
That's right. Also, that one seems to be moving somewhat erratically. You can't tell why, but everyone else is like, marching, across.
Trump.
And every so often it's like the little one, like, sort of jerks forward, pauses. Again, it's hard to know why, but is not moving at the same speed as everything else.
This is
No way of looking
being
closer.
held hostage.
Wait, Nisiana, didn't you say you have clairvoyance?
Yes, but I didn't memorize it.
Oh.
I'm a cleric. I can't do just that is not one of the ones
on the fly.
I'm sorry. It's not a if it were a ritual, let me
Well,
no,
10 minutes.
it's not a ritual.
Okay. Only I had someone with a piece of leather and 2 lenses you can make a telescope out of.
I was just about to say, in any of my pieces of scrap.
Jeez, I don't know. At a level 19 artificer's kind of a badass in terms of construction.
I mean,
can you
you
make
could
yourself
be
something?
like, hey, me Tantin, can you
This is the part.
see who that little guy is? Can
We
you
just
zoom
need-
in?
We just need the ID on him.
This
What
is the
little
part
guy?
where I ask a stupid question.
Yeah, we're both pointing the little one,
The little one.
off to the side of
What's the
Lord of
stupid
Blades.
question? What's the stupid question, Ron?
Yeah.
So this is a stupid question that either Greg or Tren have to answer for me, which
Okay.
is, does my rifle now have a scope, or did we not do that?
I thought you did have a scope that you added, right, Tren? That Tantan added to it, I
Right,
thought.
cool.
It wasn't extremely powerful
No, it
because I
doesn't
didn't have
need to
time
be.
to build one.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be that.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
you could sight.
I step back so me extending my rifle doesn't
Sight
cross
down his forearm.
order into this, and look through the scope of my
I
rifle.
love
This
this
is the first
visual.
time
for
I've seen
greater
this.
detail.
I'm not sure if I've seen this
What's
yet
that?
either.
I've only fired it twice.
Yeah, and I think that was in a battle where you all were occupied. I'm not sure that you would have seen
I
it
think
this
so
way.
too.
I
Yeah.
love the visual of this though, because you can imagine the camera. Like it's basically the classic, the Star Wars across the dunes of Tatooine type of thing, right? Like, and you're sort of like focused in, and so you kind of zoom around a bit, and then you can see for sure. Yes, it is unquestionably a human. It is a shorter human, although it's not a tiny human. It's like an average-sized human, but next to the Warforged, and is definitely being yanked forward. Seems to be attached by ropes between 2 Warforged that are pulling along this person none too gently.
And I don't recognize who this human is.
You do not, but you could have someone else. I think peer through the scope. Again, I guess I would ask Tantan about this, but I would imagine that the scope
it
would
would be
be
very awkward, but I attempt.
Yeah, you guys like
Just
leaning
twist
your
arm
heads
over
together.
here, yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, it'd be strange, but no, you
I
don't
bet you
recognize.
could probably
per se.
take the scope off. And
Yeah, I don't know that. I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it's literally on like a rail that is at the top of the rifle. Anyway.
Yeah, it would.
Okay.
It would have, because it's not the final scope that's supposed to go on it. It's just what he had with him to make at the time. So it's intended to be removed at some point.
Well, then you could do
Tantan-
that. Then that's fine.
Tantan invents the Picatinny
Yeah.
rail.
Yeah. So then, okay.
So I take it off and I hand it to Tantan first.
Okay.
No, it works fine. It's just not getting what. Oh, you go there.
Tantan, I would like you please to make a perception check. I'm going to ask you to do this at +5.
I will guidance him.
Okay.
I'll put my hand on it. I'll be like
You can
we
do
need
it.
to know who that person is.
As she does it, he's like,
It's like, oh!
right on the bruise where the nut hit him in the face.
Take 100
Oh.
points of bruise damage.
A cheekbone.
Cheekbone damage.
Oh yeah. Now I lost what you said to do. Perception
+5.
plus
Perception
five?
+5, yeah. And then I guess
Okay.
you can add, if Nisian is guiding you, you can do that too.
Okay. Then I won't ask about since I built the thing, do I get to use my proficiency bonus? Because that would then, since it is a mechanical weapon or a magical weapon, I would get expertise, which would mean I'd have a plus 12 plus D4 plus 5.
Yeah, no, it's not that much.
Yeah,
no.
I know. That's why I was like, no. Okay, so let's just start with a perception check. How about that?
Although I just had this image of you doing that, and all of a sudden you being like, "Great, well, I'm going to take the shot." Like you headshot the guy from like, "No, I didn't mean that.
I can snip his nose hair."
Yes. So that is 11 plus 5, you said?
Yes, 16.
16.
Plus a D4.
Plus D4. That's 4.
So that's a non-natural 20. Yeah, I think that's enough. Tanton, you zoom in. Okay, well, you zoom in and I don't know how to. I don't want to spoil. All right, let me give you the reveal, and then I'll ask you something beyond it. Because as you zoom in, you sort of kind of blink as you're looking through the scope because you have to make sure that you're seeing this properly. Because
that can't be who I think it is.
When the person gets yanked along, you're almost positive you see what looks like a slightly glowing dragon mark above this person. This is a person clearly from House Cannith, and they are being dragged forcibly by the Lord of Blades to the Forge of Making. Now, quick question. How many would you say of the people of the house did you know? I know you wouldn't understand like all the apprentices, and this is not Merrick's. Like I can tell you that it's not Merrick's.
Yeah,
but like like how many of them would you be expected to know? A good portion, 0%, like 50, 70. Like how many of them would you have known at the time you were active in the house? Not servants, but like actual house members.
Right. Yeah. In Seer, before he was sent to Sharn to study being a smith, just general artificer stuff, which all of us came through Seer. Probably 15 from Seer. Probably 5 of those being instructors, 10 being other students, and then left to go to Sharn to study being a smith. Probably 2 instructors, maybe another 3 students, and then he was working with his boss. And then when he got in trouble, that was partly Merrick's, probably one other kind of a adjudicator who was from House Cannith. But
let me have you then make a history check as I do some mental calculations. I'm going to have you do a history check. I'm going to have you do this at advantage, but I won't give you any pluses to it. I'm just going to have you do it at advantage. Whatever your normal history thing is. If you have a bonus, that's fine. But
plus 5.
Okay, yeah.
22.
Yeah. You do recognize this person, Tanton. It is a person known as Demery de Cannith, and it was a fellow artificer who basically graduated, into apprenticeship and so forth, more or less at the same time that you did. You didn't know them well, but you knew of them, and almost certainly you're looking at a haggard, broken down, almost terribly aged, because this person looks much older than you remember them being. They were about your age when they graduated, but they are clearly of the House Cannith, and this Demery de Cannith is being dragged along by the Lord of Blades to the Forge.
This is going to be a problem.
Which is a perfect place to bring our session to a close.
You just said this is going to be a problem.
It's not a problem. This is exactly what happens.
Yeah, and that's why I was trying to make sure I wasn't giving too much too soon, Tren. But I figured like you would know something of them, right? Like you would have some knowledge of them. But yeah, so I want to say, for the benefit of chat, I also really enjoy sessions where there's a lot of like hardcore thinking about how to solve particular problems, and like there were issues here where they are kind of operating in the time stream dark, so to speak, and also the real actual dark, because they're having to navigate alongside. They have to keep a time stream running, but also slightly interfere with it at moments that matter, and then make sure that everything that is going to sync up properly, but having done stuff what they need to sabotage things so they can destroy the Oracle of Bones and Lord of Blades. Like, they got a lot of stuff that they're thinking about at the same time. So if there were a couple of moments tonight where it seemed like there was a lot of quiet, it's because people were like, we're really thinking about how to do this in a way that's proper. So I personally really dig that kind of thing. I think that's a lot of fun. So I will start Rowan with I will start with you, Brandon, with Rowan. I first of all, I love the gun with the scope. That visual was one of my favorite visuals, just because I was like, oh man, I love that idea. And it is interesting to me to imagine how Rowan is going to sort through figuring out what to sort of like mechanically what to manage in terms of magically provide, understanding different things. Like you said at one point earlier on today, that like this particular thing isn't your expertise. Like, it's there's no crime being committed, but beyond that, there's no specific magic thing you're having to do. And also you're having to consider ways that you can do this without breaking up a time stream. Everyone in the end is going to get their own sort of direct connection to this experience, but at the moment, a lot of what Rowan's been doing is sort of helping other people and trying to figure out when to be able to jump in and do things like this case that we just had right now. And so that was fun for me to watch how Rowan's going to navigate that. So how did you feel about today's session? Where will the lovely folks find you next?
So last session, I was very excited about the fact that we are essentially performing a time heist. And now is the very harrowing part of actually executing this in this campaign frame, which is the luxury that we do not have, that you would typically have watching an actual heist movie, is all of the downtime disappears, but we have to spend these 5 days of downtime and actually make active decisions about what is not downtime or not. So Rowan is definitely like playing into the obvious stress of we are on a clock. Some of the decisions we have to make are specifically time sensitive, even though we have very little information. So we have to actually act on the information of how soon is too soon to act on one or another element of this plan. So Rowan has no choice but to be at the whim of other people's requests, because otherwise we could spend the next 2 or 3 days just slowly sabotaging things and hoping for the best. As we mentioned the last time, one of the really intriguing parts of the setup for this part of the adventure is we have no information except for the fact that making the wrong temporal decisions has consequences, but we don't know what the right ones are. And Rowan is this close to insisting that we will need to act anyway, or else the only option we have left is not having enough time to act. So yeah, at some point we need to bite the bullet, but we still have time now. But seeing as we've just discovered that the Lord of Blades has already moved on the Forge of Making and has another member of House Cannith held hostage, it might behoove us to actually make the secondary decision. How much of this particular situation are we willing to let slide in order to accomplish the rest of our goals? So we'll see where that goes as well. Hi everybody, I'm Brandon O'Brien. I'm a poet, writer, and game designer from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm pretty sure the next place that you will see me is here. We have not yet decided whether our next session is before or after ArvCon, but we're in the middle of April, which means that
Hopefully before, because I'd like us to get one more session in before that finale.
Yes, so. To actually make some progress.
Yeah. Well, you have, but like, you need to make enough progress that the finale is actually a finale.
But yes, a reminder that ArvCon is coming up very, very soon in May. So we're very much looking forward to that. I know for a fact, as is tradition, that Infinity and Beyond will be one of the highlights of ArvCon, but I don't think we've discussed yet what other fancy things Greg may have in store for that weekend.
It's true. I have not announced all that yet.
Maybe this is the season I actually get to make a game of Brindlewood Bay happen, but I need to figure out who else to bully to make that happen.
You did do that. Oh no, you did it for the Greyshade Kickstarter years ago, but not a Brindlewood thing for ArvCon, right?
We did a very random scene for the Greyshade Kickstarter. I want to run an actual full game of the thing.
Would love to see that happen. You know what? Actually, just very quickly, I'm not putting you on the spot, Brendan, but one thing that occurs to me is you doing that for the 3 Scientists game on a Monday would be pretty sweet, because remember because I have the 3. I have already reached out to them to start looking for the scientists for that. So I did want to mention that because I'm sure they would have a blast.
On the one hand, it would be incredibly funny, I imagine, but I feel like ArvCon always leans specifically towards having the scientists play an SF game. And I don't want to. I wouldn't want to get in the way of that. If somebody does have like something more SF focused, that they would
make the scientists do magic.
Yeah, do magic. That's right. Exactly. And I'm also going to talk to Mike.
But it also makes me think that it would be fun to do Time Watch with them. But I've never actually had experience playing Time Watch. So yes, we will have these discussions. But suffice it to say, if you need another hand for something for ArvCon, you know that you can always ask me to run or play literally anything. But yeah, other than that, I don't have a lot to say yet. I will say very slyly that at some point very soon I will have lots to say about other things, but I can't say what those things are yet until those things happen. So please look out for... This is the announcement of an announcement.
I love it. My favorite thing to do.
But yeah, you can find me almost everywhere on the internet at The Rising Tides. That's TITHES. I have a website, which is also my newsletter at BrandonO'Brien.xyz, which is technically also on leaflet.pub, which is a thing that is attached to Blue Sky, which is also kind of fun. And yeah, I think that's everything for the most part. But I also did want to make a minor shout out of a thing that has nothing to do with me, but I've been recently reminded of the thing. This was supposed to be my media mention for this session, but then you sideswiped me with Kamen Rider and my brain went blank.
Sorry.
This is not my book. I haven't even read this book yet, but Strixhaven Omens of Chaos came out early last week by tangential friend of the channel, Shannon Maguire. Surely everybody who's read Shannon Maguire's work in this in chat knows how impeccable her writing is. And if you need an option to bully all of your friends into actually reading a fantasy school novel that is not evil, definitely check out Strixhaven Omens of Chaos. I am very attached to Strixhaven as a plane in the Magic the Gathering universe. So I definitely want more people to experience the thing, especially because this is the first mainline novel in the Magic the Gathering universe in maybe half a decade. I would like that habit to continue, because the books used to be rad. So please support Shannon Maguire. Please get yourself a copy of Strixhaven Omens of Chaos. I haven't read it yet, but I promise you it will be rad.
Good stuff. Thanks, Brandon. And I should mention that I mentioned this before. I'll say it again. Everything on the Greyshade tabletop game is done except for the art, which is being finalized. So Brandon and I are super excited. Cannot even tell you how excited we are to get the bloody game out. So it's coming, we swear. But art is in the way. So, but soon, TM. But thank you, Brandon. Always a pleasure. Jen, who also, of course, knows Shannon quite well. But Jen, good stuff today from Nisiana. I think the thing that was I liked the divination idea, and indeed your working through it I think was really interesting and valuable, and will pay dividends in the end. Obviously, I'm not going to say how much you get or did not get, but like. It is supposed to be cryptic, and so figuring out the details of it. This is the way divinations, right, in general, are always just kind of like, what, like, you know, and then the butter is given to the person, and then they dance a jig. What does that mean? Like, you know. But anyway, so this is meant to be cryptic, but you're working through it, I think, is helpful regardless, as was the discussion with everybody else about figuring out what that actually meant one way or the other. And I liked the image of you being the first one, since you were the first one down into the jungle, to see the sort of gem-eyed chimpanzees and all that kind of stuff. So how'd you feel about today's session? Where will the lovely folks find you next?
Nisiana is so uncomfortable.
With anything in particular, or just all of it?
It's just all of it.
Okay.
I mean, she is out of time. She is not in her realm. She's just like, if I do any healing, everybody's gonna know. I am limited. All right, let's try this thing that I never do. Okay, I didn't understand this. You know, just like, well, fuck, I don't know. It's great, but man, a lot of thinking for a tough couple of weeks. So, I will say about Strixhaven, my husband grabbed the book before I could and didn't stop reading it for like 2 days straight. I will be picking it up next. I also have read Duskborn by Shauna Maguire on the WotC website. Do I play Magic? No, not even a little bit. Did I love Duskborn? Absolutely. Did I like, what is it, Lorwyn, I believe it was the last web series she did? Absolutely. So, do I think that I'm going to absolutely adore Strixhaven? Pretty much. And yes, it'll be nice to have a series of a supernatural education university not written by somebody terrible.
There's been a lot of heavy lifting done by the Isle of Roke and by Ursula Le Guin's, which is far superior school by a not terrible person. But yeah,
so,
that was a while ago.
Let's see. You can find me everywhere as Jennifer Brozak, or on Instagram, Jennifer_Brozak. Where will I be next? Here, whenever we actually decide the next game is. I don't have any conventions until Origins. That's it. That's all I got.
Well, good stuff. Thank you, Jen. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more about from DC next time. It'll be a good time. John, good stuff from Alarian today as well. Again, I appreciated the Alarian breaking through the forest cover and all that stuff. You know, listen, being Starforged is not stealth, and
it's not always a float in the park.
Yeah, exactly. It's not always that way. But of course, Alarian is also thinking tactically now of what is going to make the most sense relative to everything else, and the fact that you were surrounded by a group of warforged creatures with agency, allegedly, even if they are animals with agency. I wonder what that's going to sort of how Alarian's going to conceive of that, given the connection that was revealed last time about being brought to the Forge of Making here and so forth, if any. But regardless, I'm because that came up for me when Nisiana asked, like, hey, do you have any connection? Like, can you use? I had this image of like Warforged cant, like thieves' cant or something. Like, could you like clang your arms 3 times, and does that mean something? And you're kind of like, yeah, no, we don't. I don't necessarily know all these things about them, but there is this sense of connection, obviously, with all of the forged creatures here. So anyway, I'm curious to see how that goes down, and then tactically how to resolve all of these things in a way that will keep the whole King Citadel alive while you're waiting around for the not waiting around, as Brandon said, trying to actively do things, but not too much. You can't reveal things, but you also have to do other things. So Alarian has to handle some of that tactically too. So how'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next?
And keep in mind that we've already broken or deviated the timeline fairly significantly.
That's right.
with Aaron. So it's, on one hand, it's funny, until you mentioned that whole thing with Illyrian at the end of the last session, the character had practically, or the player had practically forgotten about that. Well, yeah, that happened too. Shit, I gotta do something about that. And a lot of the time while everybody else was talking about it, I was pondering like, can I do something here? Should I do something here? Should I get Maramay and go test like a mind link on these critters? And maybe I'll do that next time, but they're kind of in shock at what they've discovered and not really, this is not something they can attack with a sword or tactically. The idea that possibly they were brought here for a bigger purpose is really kind of playing with their mind, and they're not entirely sure how to respond to this. Which played well for the session, because a lot of times I was like, there were times I wasn't paying attention to what was going on in the conversation, because I was thinking about how do I process this? How do I handle it? And they're still not sure.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yes, let's move. Okay. And then kind of snapping out of it to kind of like this. And now, of course, we have to wait for events to happen before we can do anything, which is frustrating on several levels. Because it's like, well, he's right there. And yes, we're totally well numbered, but we could take him right now. Which, of course, is not the answer.
I mean, it'll be fine. It'll just, cause all of the planet
temporal
to be
rift, temporal
consumed in
Schmidt. Don't bother with the consequential details. Thankfully, of course, at 19th level, and because they've gone through a lot, they know that is not the way, as much as they want it to be. So this was a very interesting session. Seeing the Argonth also brought a pang back after losing it so unceremoniously. That was kind of a but we know what we have to do. The question is, can we do it surreptitiously enough to not jar anything else loose? And with this group, I just don't. So that's, par for the course.
Right,
so
we're subtle.
Yeah, as a bag of bricks. Yes. So yeah, this was fun. A very different session, but a lot of fun anyways. And I would like to get one more in before the Memorial Day, obviously, because I think we're going to need that to kind of finesse some things. But yeah, I expect to be here next time as soon as we figure out when that's going to be, and see if we can accomplish all the myriad goals and not screw the timeline up any more than we already have. Let's put it that way.
I love it. I have this image of you taking notes, and like every time something being like just sort of taking like the like a earthquake meter where it's like, okay, we're going up.
Can I go off the page? I think I'm off the page.
This is wrong. Anyway,
they're still concerned about the idea of that Aaron's now still alive and how much that might screw things up. So yeah, but it's done. What's done is done. We made the choice. The Lord of Blades is there, so it's happening.
Yep. And I'm excited to see how everyone reacts to that next time. Thanks, John. Good stuff tonight. Marie sadly had her internet go out, but was playing Maramay. You should check out all of Marie's stuff. Marie will be with us for the marathon session, and we are gonna try to get in that one more thing. If we get one more session that's a good, another good 3-hour plus session, and then we could do the finale, then I feel comfortable that we'll be able to get it done within that time period. Again, unless 3 hours is literally everyone staring at each other across and being like, but maybe the circle meant this. Like, I mean, if that's what it is, then maybe we got a problem. But I think, again, that thinking is all stuff that's going to allow you to do these other things. And as you saw today, time proceeds on its own path. So, like, people are doing their things, like, wherever they're doing them. So you're going to have to react to those. But in any case, we will see Marie back with us next month. Therefore, hopefully twice. The one sort of normal session and then the ARFCon session. For that, and you should buy all of her books, and Marie's awesome person. Moving right along to Tren. Tanton also, as we talked about, the case was going to have some significant moments here, and this one was interesting for me too because number one, being able to use the scope that you created for Rowan's gun, which was, I thought, fun, being able to see what they actually were, and the fact that now you have multiple Decanaths around, right? Including Aaron, who can be like, the way it is, like the way you make the forge is by having a dragon mark, and if you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. Like, speaking sort of artificer to artificer, which means that when you look down and saw the fact that it is this indeed a person from House Cannith, that means that you probably will know a little bit more about the implications of what that means. How did they get Demery? Like, what, Obviously, it's not likely to end well, for Demery unless he's rescued, but is that going to screw up the time stream, which everyone else is worried about, but you're also worried about it from the perspective of what the Forge can do, and if this guy's the only one who can use it, what does that mean? So there's just a lot of stuff going on that feels like it's Kenneth adjacent, I suppose. So I'm excited to see how that gets played out over time. How did you feel about today's session? What were the fine folks' findings?
I was very happy to see that Demery had clearly been quite roughed up and treated very, very poorly. Very happy to see that. That was a genuine relief to my heart, because that means that he didn't go willingly.
I thought you were going to be like, and I hate that bastard too.
I was going to say the next thing would be
judge at my trial, and I kicked me out. That son of a bitch.
The next thing would be reattaching the scope and saying, "Shoot that asshole!"
Yeah, exactly. Shoot him.
If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here now. But yeah, John and I were kind of talking back channel about who else could do this that we know of. So we were already kind of covering some of these things, and the only things that I could think of were possibly Sky Blue, that if she had been brought into House Cannith after we last saw her, and she had attained dragon marks, that she would be someone who could have done it. And when you were like, it's smaller than a human, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, my thought too.
Not
good.
Oh boy, this could be bad. And then I was like, but what if it's Solring? He keeps saying human, not dwarf. He keeps saying human. It's not him. And so I'm like going through it's just this Rolodex. It's frantically flipping. Like, who do we know that's going to get a callback? From anywhere else in the previous 19 levels. That's just going to be like, wait, that dickhead? Shoot him! But let us, we three...
somehow it's like like Oscar Isaac steps up. Somehow Flamewind returned. You're like, what the frick? That's some bullshit.
Just as long as we three artificers are not here, if we're like off over there when Rowan takes the shot, if they look over this way, they won't see three other options for Dragon Mark people. It's like, let's just go get one of those.
Yeah.
They're falling out of the sky.
Yeah. Through the cloud kill, so don't mess with us or we'll go back. Yeah. So where will people see me next? Here.
Yes. In fact, a week from Tuesday, because of Dragonbane, which we have not yet had, where Tanton is,
Tanton isn't in there.
Where Tren is playing a character very different from Tanton is what I meant.
A bit, yeah.
And but also a lot of fun. So
his beard is much larger.
Yeah, that's quite true. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to see all of these folks back. I really enjoyed.
I need to watch the last VOD so I can see what happened. Actually.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you're going to be. It's all fine. Everything's okay. You're not at all in a tough spot. They said they were going to explain it to you.
Laughter.
Yeah, they said they were going to explain it to you. It'll be fine.
Nobody said a word.
But it was such a pleasure to be able to get back on board with this crew. I am very excited for the last few sessions of this game and the finale. I'm also looking forward to the post-mortem where we can talk about theories the players had, some of the things I was thinking at the same time, and excited for the Dragonlance launch, which I think is going to be great. But I'm really looking forward to the culmination of all these things being brought together. This has felt very epic to me all the way through over the last few sessions as they've been higher level, and it feels like it's building up to this crescendo that I'm excited to see how the players handle. So it's going to be great. But again, thank you so much, as always, to the amazing members of Infinity and Beyond chat. Can we get some love for Trent Sparks, for Marie Bilodeau, not here now, but we'll be back soon. And yes, I'm not leaving yet, Trivet. Thank you to John Helfers. Thank you to Jennifer Brozick. Thank you to Brandon O'Brien. Wonderful work, crew, as always. And I shall see you folks down the line. Bye for now.
Bye.
Alrighty. So, yes. Thank you, Wispy. See, I always say give some love to the chat. It's actual love that we're talking about here. Okay. So, give me just a second while I fix this a little bit. Right, let's move over there. Back here. Hey, here we are. Hi, everyone. Yes, so just a couple of notes here. while I actually get out of the stuff. First of all, really enjoyed today. Cannot wait for more of this. It's going to be great. We've only got one session with these folks this month. We have one session also with Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks this month. But next month, we're going to have what I hope will be 2 for a variety of them. At the very least, I'm hoping that it will be with obviously Eberron Oracle of War. We're going to have that regular session and then the finale, which will be the big marathon session. That's that big 8-hour extravaganza on that Sunday. And that should be enough, I think, to get us wrapped up unless things go way off the rails. But I think that'll be good. And then we would follow that up with a post-mortem after that. Then hopefully all of the tabletop stuff is going to have a prominent place in that. Remember, in ArvCon, and remember that's going to be over Memorial Day weekend. For those of you who missed this, I will have one stream on Tuesday, which will be streaming the Patreon Field Chat Chosen Game of the Month, which while we're doing, I'm going to have everyone talk about it. Triffid put this right now. Please get in your votes there, because when I'm done talking, I'm going to close this down. This is the game I'm going to be playing this coming Tuesday. Tiny Bookshop is currently leading over Kathy Rain 2 Soothsayer and Overlord. So please get your votes in, and I will be playing the winner of that that is going to be finished tonight. I'll be playing that on Tuesday, and that's the only stream I'll be doing. I will not be doing my GOG stream, and I will not be doing the Arvocalist that night. Arvocalist is rescheduled. GOG is canceled because I have been asked to come to a reception for Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation scientists in the Empire State Building in the city, and I'm here to tell you I'm going to do that because I can't always go to all of these things, but it's an honor to be able to go to some of them, and you know how important this deal is to me. So since we're talking about ArvCon, that's what's happening on Tuesday. Wednesday we will have community D&D with the Shadow Crew, and then Thursday I'll be back with more Super Mario RPG. Actually, Thursday and the following Saturday, so it's going to be a good time. Now, one other note I want to make just before we wrap up for the evening is that a week from this Tuesday, so that is the 21st, I believe, in the evening, we're going to have our normal streams on Tuesday the 21st. It's going to be Dragonbane, as I mentioned, and then it's going to be over on GOG.com. I'm going to be doing Pen and Pixels, and I'm going to be doing more of Evil Land 2. But then that evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, I just announced that we have a special union conversation talking about labor rights in higher education. It's going to feature 5 of us in a roundtable discussion. It's going to be involving, obviously, yours truly, and it will also incorporate the 2 prominent members of the St. John's University AAUP. That's the American Association of University Professors Union. So that's Sophie Bell, Dr. Sophie Bell, who is the acting president of the AAUP branch at SJU, and Dr. Jeremy Cruz, who is the equity officer of SJU AAUP. I will be joining them and Carlos Hernandez, who should be well known to this channel, the author of many books and the creator, along with Claire Cooney, CSE Cooney of Negocios Infernales, and also, of course, former member of the Esper Genesis crew as well. Carlos is a full tenured professor at BMCC, and so I am going to be having him in as somebody who is connected to this thing of being in a place which has a strong union, and I want to get sort of his perspective on it. And I'm also going to have Professor Zachary Kaiser, who is a professor at Michigan State. Michigan State University, at the beginning of this academic year in September, just officially recognized for the first time the faculty union, and Professor Kaiser was instrumental in getting that done and is the vice president of said union. And so that is going to be a good opportunity for me to talk to a bunch of higher education folks about union matters. And I think it's going to be interesting not only for those who are interested in labor rights in higher education, but frankly, it is the canary in the coal mine stuff. When you start going after unions, you start going after civil rights. There's a very clear correlation between economic prosperity, but also civil benefits and prosperity, civil rights, civil understanding, and union rights and understanding. And obviously, there's a real connection between higher education and unions. So I think it's going to be an interesting conversation, and I think it's one that if you have any interest at all, if you work, okay, if you have any interest at all in education or learning or unions, or all three, or some combination of the above, then I hope you'll stop by for that conversation. It is free and open to everybody, and that'll be happening 8 p.m. Eastern, running for anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, and it will be happening Tuesday the 21st after my regular streams that evening. So I hope that folks will be willing to join me for that, because I think it's going to be fun and informative. So that is happening a week from this Tuesday. But otherwise, that I think is going to do it for me. And let me just double check and see. Last call right here. Last call for this vote. Last call for this vote. We did get another vote for Kathy Rain 2 Soothsayer, but otherwise it's Tiny Bookshop, Kathy Rain 2 Soothsayer, Overlord. So that vote is going once. That vote is going twice. And the winner is Tiny Bookshop. All right, so I'm going to be running a Tiny Bookshop, y'all, on Tuesday. So Tiny Bookshop it is. Excited to get that started. I know not a whole lot about it, but I have heard good things. And I'm going to put a little note to myself to go check it out. So Tiny Bookshop is the Patreon Field Chat Shows Game of the Month. Kathy Rain 2 just falls just shy. Sorry, Echo. But soon we'll be getting more of it. Nonstop, I think that was one of your nominations, if I'm not mistaken. So that's happening on Tuesday around noon Eastern. So you will definitely want to stop by for that. Otherwise, though, that is going to do it for me. But I do think we're going to do a raid today. Let me just double check quickly and see who we've got going. One second. Okay, there's that. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, this is a good one. I think this is a good one. Okay, great. Lovely. All right. So this works very simply. If you are not a sub, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts have landed, followed by Twitch Raid, lowercase Twitch, uppercase R, lowercase ARD. If you are a sub, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts have landed, then Twitch Raid, Arvany Roar, Arvany Hype, Arvany Smug, Arvany Love, Arvany Blown, all the Arvanys when you are brought over automagically. Please do that because it's helpful for the channel. It's helpful for the people that we're raiding. Everybody wins. And it will only take a minute for you to be brought over there. So please stick around for that raid. If you like what you saw and heard today, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube. Please subscribe to me over there. It's free for you to do that, but really helps us out, so thank you in advance. Discord, !ArvCord. You can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. Blue Sky, !ArvSky, which is my microblogging platform of choice at the moment. Website for this, arvanelleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop, that's the merchandise area, including stuff for the Infinity and Beyond crew. !ArvTreon is that Patreon right there. We're going to be making some adjustments to that Patreon over the next couple of months, but you can still get some really unique stuff there. So it is highly worth your while to support that, and it also supports the channel as we move towards various channel goals. Subbing to the channel, as several of you did today, is also really helpful. You get those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. On the publishing front, Icarus, my graphic novel from Athos Arts, Library, that's my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment, Gray Shade is my Gray Shade IP, Gray Shade Renegade and Heretic, the Gray Assassin trilogy available at that link. You can get the audiobooks of Gray Shade Renegade and Heretic at that link as well, done by our very own Trent Sparks, and you can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Gray Shade at that link, designed by our very own Brandon O'Brien, who you saw earlier tonight as well, and coming out from Alligator Alley Entertainment soon. So please check that out. Thank you, Wispy. I'm glad. I worked hard on it, and I'm proud of it, and I'm glad that people have gotten joy out of it, as I had joy in writing it. So thank you. But yes, take Wispy's advice and take Wispy's knowledge and go forth with it. Absolutely. And as always, BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage. Send the message. We'll do so for others in that situation in the future, and continued love, as I've always said over the last few months, to the people of Minnesota and specifically Minneapolis for their continuing battle against federal occupation. And we are winning, thanks to their inspiration and the inspiration of so many others across the country. So keep it up, everyone. We will get there. I want to thank everyone who made this an awesome stream tonight. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Prince Justin, of course. Thanks, Prince Justin. Thank you to Shadow Mage. Hope you feel better, Shadowed. Feel better. Thank you to Triffity Mats as well, being all three of them among the best mods in the business. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, of course, to J-Rab. Good to see you, Jay. And thank you to the Rising Tides, who was awesome tonight as well, of course, as a player. So thank you to Prince Justin, Shadow Mage, Triffity Mats, J-Rab, and the Rising Tides there. Thank you as well to Prince Justin, Shadow Mage, Triffity Mats. Thank you to Nonstop, Wispy Song. Thank you to Big Red 40 Tech. Thank you to JLC. And thank you to Trendane for being subscribers to this channel and Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. And thank you to my wonderful viewers. Thank you to Jagtress. Thank you to Light and Passion. What's up, Light? Thank you, of course, to Radio Johnny Panda, to Rick V, and, of course, to Sunny Boy. And special thanks today to the wonderful Infinity and Beyond crew of Tren, of Brandon, of Marie, of Jen, and of John. Thank you so much to all of them for being awesome, and thank you all for being awesome as well. Stick around for the raid, and I will see you folks back here on Tuesday for Tiny Bookshop, the Patreon Field Chat Chosen Game of the Month. More of this campaign that you saw coming next month, the final regular session, and then the finale. You'll not want to miss any of that. Otherwise, stick around until after the video, and we'll do that raid, and much love. Everyone be good to each other. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye for now.
Most folks in Eberron live their lives hoping to survive and protect the ones they care about the most.
A few do that and more, trying to help those around them, even the ones they don't know. But only one group does all that when no one else can. The King's Citadel, the ones who do the job no one else can do. Elarian, the Shield, a star-forged Aegis whose strength lies in the defense of their companions and their will to keep the Citadel and its missions safe no matter the price, even when that price must finally be paid. Merime, the Sword, a Kalashtar bard whose dreams predict doom and disaster, and who has touched the mind of a god. Her skill in battle, insight into the hearts and minds of those she encounters, and love for her sister in the Citadel is more necessary than ever, if her divinely touched spirit does not waver. Tantan, the Brain, a dragon-marked human artificer whose jovial demeanor conceals a deep curiosity, razor-sharp intellect, and long memory. He knows what he did for the last war, and he knows what it did to him. And now that he has returned to the site of it all, deep within the ruins of Seir, he knows how much worse the next war will be, unless he can stop it. Nisiana, the Heart, a dragon-marked halfling healer whose love for her sister is matched only by her desire to help and heal the members of the Citadel. She's grown wiser and more wary, and has learned that at times harming matters as much as healing. Can she keep hope and the King's Citadel alive? Rowan, the Wild Card, a human wild magic sorcerer who's played a dangerous game for most of his life. He's gone all in to save his friends, but for the first time he's learned they're not the only ones sitting at the table. Can he break through the shadows of his past and finally call the bluff? These 5 elite operatives came together to aid the salvage outpost of Salvation, where the Grey hovers nearby, a threat and a promise. With the Oracle of War, they found an artifact powerful enough to end a war, or begin one. They traveled to Sharn's City of Towers to unravel the Oracle's mysteries while stopping assassination attempts from the terrorist organization known as the Emerald Claw. They traveled back to Salvation and into the Grey to repel a war-forged invasion and take the fight to the Lord of Blade's secret fortress Razorcrag. They paid a heavy price to rescue hostages from the fortress, and the Lord of Blades escaped into the Grey, seeking a way to create an army of Warforged powerful enough to crush the 5 nations of Corvair. But the Citadel had more immediate problems, the Emerald Claw, and a looming war. At the same time learning that the Lord of Blades seeks the Oracle of Bones to create his invincible army. Now the King's Citadel is in a race against time to unite the 5 nations and stop the Lord of Blades before he can turn his full might against all of Corvair. They've saved Salvation, navigated Sharn, prevented disaster at Razor Crag, stopped the war with Thrain, and thwarted the Emerald Claw. But can they finally unlock the Oracle of War's secrets and defeat the Lord of Blades? Only if they remember that in the end, all they have is each other and the King's Citadel. Long live the King. Welcome to Eberron. Welcome to Corvair. Welcome to the final season of the Oracle of War.